Meeting to order.
30 p.m. Councilman Abdulaziz, Councilwoman Khan,
Here.
Councilman Jackson, Councilman Khalid,
Here.
Councilman Mendez,
Good evening, Paterson. Good evening, Madam Clerk, Preston.
Councilman Mims,
Present.
Councilman Rivera,
Here.
Councilman Velez, Madam President,
Present.
are we ready?
Yes,
You have your note, okay.
you can now read the statement of
Okay,
compliance.
sure, Council President, thank you. Statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law 2021 to 2022, meeting date October 19, 2021, time 6:30 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting was compiled and disseminated in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law in the following manner. 1. The annual notice of regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council was compiled for the year 2021 to 2022 on or about July 1, 2021. 2. A schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2021 to 2022 was duly transmitted on or about July 1, 2021 to the North Jersey Herald News, The Record, Arabic Voice, Italian Voice, Passaic County Pulse, Dominicana News, Creator International, El Especial, the Paterson Press, the City Post News, and Tap into Paterson, in addition to any other publication duly requesting such notices. 3. The schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2021 to 2022 was prominently posted in the lobby of City Hall, first floor, in the place reserved for the announcements of this time. 4. The schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2021 to 2022 was duly filed with the municipal clerk. 5. A copy of the schedule of regular meetings of the Municipal Council was mailed to any person who requested and paid the fee authorized by the Open Public Records Act. Madam President.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Madam Clerk, before we start with the workshop agenda, just want to make, I want all the council members to know, item 31, Mancoro Lounge is being pulled, okay? It's being removed. And so is items 32, 33, 34, and 35. The renewal for Mambo Lounge,
So
the
31.
Dance Hall Mambo Lounge, the massage restaurant, and Los Cristales. Those are being removed.
So 31 through 35.
Correct.
Okay,
No. This is why I don't like the pack, because the
Okay.
only one that's being removed from 31 is Mancora LLC.
The Mancora LLC, okay,
Yes.
that one is being taken out of that resolution. So remove
Yes.
that. Okay.
Okay?
And then the 32, 33, 34, and 35?
That is correct.
All those
Madam
are
President.
Councilman?
Sure. Since I see some of the owner of all those establishments that are here, so they will be notified when we're going to treat those
They
items.
will be
again.
notified who's here for,
I see some, I'm not, but I see some
to
business.
my assistant, Phyllis, who is here today?
Mazar Restaurant and D. Franca Investment. Those are the two.
Okay, so they'll be notified.
So 34 and 35 is here.
Okay, they'll be notified,
Okay.
all right, by your office. Thank you very much. All right, very well. So council members, items 5 through 15 will go for second reading if no one has any issues. 5 through 17 was specific to,
I think there was an item that we discussed last time that you want to see regarding, what is it, 8th Avenue, East 26th? But it's good to go to second reading based on the recommendation of the traffic engineering and the residents of the area.
I'm sorry, Councilman, I'm not understanding what you're saying. I just said that items 5 through 15 are going to go for second reading as long as no one has any issues. We've already discussed it in workshop, committee, workshop, first reading, so is,
And I just want to iterate that last meeting, you said that you was not too comfortable with one of them, but the report came back and it was attached.
It does, I still don't feel comfortable with it, but the
Oh, okay,
majority
so,
of the
yeah,
council,
all right.
you know, that's okay.
So it's good to go to second?
Yes, okay, very well. Items 17, all right, if you see here, they're establishing handicap parking spaces, and 18, first reading. I do know that in, Mr. Chair, the last DPW meeting, there is a list coming, a big list coming in terms of repealing, so.
Exactly, yes.
So, Director, I'm gonna get to you next. I know that I told you that I was gonna, all right.
Yes, and it's important, Madam President, to mention that I called Mr. Robert Statuto based on a complaint that I've received from a constituent. And he also mentioned out to me that there's gonna be a larger repealing sign. So people
Good.
that they've been moving out of the city, those signs are still there, they're gonna get back to the general public. It's important that the
Okay.
community knows that.
Very good. No,
Parking is very limited in our community.
Thank you for that update. So 19.
Council President, before you go too fast, I just want to add, Council President, residents of Paterson, if you receive a letter regarding your handicap, please do not ignore it. Go renew your handicap space and make sure your documents, a motor vehicle, everything is in place for DPW don't do a double work. If they move your sign, then you could prove that you had to pay back and whatever. Don't ignore the letter. They send it every month up to renewal. Make sure you do everything up to date.
Okay, thank you very much for that update as well. Madam Clerk, so 19, so 18, 19, first reading, and 20 will also go for first reading. Just if you remember, council members, that is a designated school drop-off that was there. It just needs to be established on paper, so.
Correct.
So we're gonna take Director Spezial, you know, he has 3 items, and he's asked if he can please be considered. I'm, Director, I can't hear you.
I apologize, Council President. Council President, if I could just address,
Can you tap, is it working? Okay.
if I could just address the Council President and the members of the council just quickly about the hotspot ordinance.
No, my apologies, but I want to
Okay.
stick to the,
Just did it in? Okay.
no, I'm not saying that, I want you to please address the 3 items that you
got
have,
it.
37,
You got it.
38, and 39.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Hold on one second. Let me just get to the ones where we are. Okay, hold on. Bear with me. Okay, so the first one is the 37.
Correct.
Ammunition?
Ammunition.
Okay.
Great. I have them in kind of a weird
The
order.
resolution authorizing the award of contract to Lawman Supply Company for the purchase of ammunition.
Why didn't it-
It's a state contract, Council President. It
Yes,
should be
no, I'm
consent.
okay, I just, anybody doesn't have any questions, we'll
We okay,
proceed.
we okay, yeah. It's a regular thing, every year. Director,
Yeah.
We
I
helping.
can't find the resolution. Okay.
Let's go to the next one, Raffle.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
just a state contract.
Yes.
That is for our ammunition for qualification, not above and beyond, but because of the fact that so many people during the pandemic, there's been an exorbitant amount of ammunition purchases. We can't get it. It takes weeks and weeks, so we're starting to run low. We're extremely low. We got to get ammunition so that we can continue to qualify and train as per the guidelines.
consent.
Is everyone okay with consent?
I'm okay.
Yes.
Okay, very, 37, Madam Clerk will go on consent. 38, Councilman, Director. That's the
That's the extra
resolution
cameras.
authorizing the award of contract under the another state contract for the purchase of body-worn cameras for the police department.
That everybody's gonna use and everything?
That is going to be the first amount that you see there is going to be, the way the state did this is they took all the different police departments, they figured out how many cameras, then they gave a price per camera. So our amount being reimbursed to us is the $500,000.
The 548?
amount.
548?
Yes.
Okay.
That will come back as we purchase. We purchase, they replenish. We purchase, they replenish. The second 2 payments will be part of the contract, which will come out of our budgeted funds.
And Council President,
Madam President.
it's good to.
Councilman
Yeah.
Velez and then Councilman
Yeah,
Mendez.
it's good to mention, Director, and that will bring a little bit, alleviate a lot of concern in the community, that everyone, even plain clothes, are gonna be using cameras.
Yes, this will be to retrofit the entire department. Anybody that's in an enforcement role, you're in narcotics, you're in a car, you're gonna go take an enforcement action, camera on,
Okay.
go forward.
That's good.
Same thing with the detective, same thing with the, street crime, whoever it is, you're in that role.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you very much.
consent.
Councilman Mendez?
Sure, a quick question. Director, in total, how many cameras we have right now as of today?
About 150 right now, and we'll go up to retrofit the whole department.
So we have a total 150
About
active right now.
Active.
Now, what are we doing in terms of the data? I know, in the beginning, when we started this, the challenge was how to manage the data. How do we doing with that?
We talked about possibly getting a body-worn camera manager, because there's a lot of things that have to be done. Right now, legal has been doing a lot of help on that matter. Internal Affairs has been doing stuff as well. Supervisors videos have to be tagged. Oprah requests are being handled by the legal department. It's a big
Okay.
thing. Once we get to these 269 more,
I think, Director, one of the requests that I have, in my opinion, is that before we get into that large number, to see how do we doing in terms of that, because I know that's been the challenge. The challenge is not the camera, is the data that we get, the information.
The issue is it's a mandate by the Attorney General. So, at some point, we got to be where we have to be,
Okay.
All right.
To be in compliance, we're going to have to.
What I'm going
And
to
I-
do is with this item, because it's an amendment, and it's quite an amount of money, I mean, do you guys want to put it on regular or do
I
consent?
Consent,
think-
that could go with consent.
I think we could put it on consent, Madam PA, but
Consent?
more importantly,
consent.
I'm not part of
I'm not
the,
the VA.
I'm sorry, Madam President. I'm not part of the Public Safety Committee, but I would like to get a full, information about, what are we doing with that? So we could definitely have that conversation at the Public Safety Committee meeting, and I would like to be part of the
I could bring
meeting.
Todd
Okay.
Pearl, who
Just
has
that
kind
way I
of
could get a sense
spearheaded
of
this.
where we are in terms of the data, what are we doing with the information that we're getting from the body camera before we get into the 200 and change that we're planning to get.
Sure,
Okay.
no
All
problem.
right, so then we'll
Consent.
go ahead and put it in consent.
Consent.
Not a problem.
And 39 is the resolution authorizing the award contract with the Snap-on Industrial,
That's
looking
good.
for the Snap-on tools for the motor pool?
Yes, that was the contractual issue. That is the one where we brought it to public safety.
Correct.
This is out of the bond, and
Correct.
this will
Council
give us the
President.
tools that are needed.
Councilman Velez.
Yes, Council President, and it's good to the record reflect that they removed this 2018 contract. So way back, and it was not fair that they was purchasing from their pockets. So this will go, 3 boxes, it's gonna be control, it's gonna be new tools and replaceable tools, it's gonna be a good audit on it, back and forth, so it's a good thing.
Council members?
Consent,
Council members?
Good.
39, you okay to go on consent?
consent, yeah, consent.
All right, Madam Clerk, so 37, 38, and 39 consent. All right? We have our great Director of Health, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Director.
Health and Human Services. We will discuss the other item you wanted to discuss, which is not on the agenda. We'll discuss it in committee. And in our committee, Public Safety Committee, and then, okay, we'll bring it back on. All right. Director of Health and Human Services, Director Ramirez.
Good evening.
Good evening. So item 36.
Yes. Item 36 is the resolution authorizing social service allocations to 13 agencies who applied, totaling $202,102.
Council President.
Madam Councilwoman Mims.
So on this particular item, of the 15 entities, the total is $202,102. So when I look at it compared to last year, I see drastic changes. For example, the Trailblazers. This is a summer camp for the youth, and there was a lot of money in it last year, and it went down to 5,000. So I'm just asking, how does this process work? Are they applying for a certain amount, or is there a scoring system? Because I see they got 5,000, I see grandparents is getting only 8,000, but I see the Boys and Girls Club is getting 30,000. So how are we allocating these funds?
So they each applied for a certain amount of money, and as you know, there are grant reviewers, and they qualified them. Now, the amount of money was decided because originally Trailblazers, for example, was only 2,000. We increased it to 5 because we had another agency who opted not to receive the money. Trailblazers is a camp. We pay for the students that go. They actually only have one student going. So that's why the money's much less this year than previous years, but we're still funding them because in a conversation with Councilwoman Cotton and the committee, they've done such a great job. We want to make sure that they continue to service our community in the future.
Just a
And
request,
Councilwoman,
can I get a copy of all the applications, and so I can see what these entities applied for versus what they got? And also, I'm not sure who's on these committees that are providing the scores or whatever's needed, and just a list of those names as well. Thank
Okay.
you, Director.
Council President.
Very good, Councilwoman. I do know, Councilwoman, to specifically Trailblazers, which I've worked with them for quite an amount of years, and, you know, in previous years, they clearly had so many students, and I know that it's dwindled down, and I do recall seeing something where they want to drum up again
Yes.
and put the Trailblazers.
Unfortunately, a lot of parents weren't giving permission for the kids to go, so that's why the number plummeted.
Yeah.
Council President.
Okay, very good. Councilwoman Cotton, Councilman Velez.
I'm looking at, Director Joel, I'm looking at this, there's one name on here that to me is missing, and I'm not quite sure if they applied.
Who is
Can I say the name?
It's up to.
All right.
Well,
I just see, because they normally would have gotten some money.
so
If you want, we
I,
could take it on the side, we can discuss it,
Okay.
but it's up to you, the council
Yeah, they
president.
normally would have gotten some.
I would probably, since they're not on this list and you have a question about somebody, you know, you don't know if they submitted an application, so put their name out there. I mean, if you want.
Well, what happened was, I was not in the committee meeting when they did this item. I wasn't there.
Okay.
Right, so that's why I really didn't look at it until I see it now, but,
Maybe want to speak to your chair?
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Councilman
right.
Abdulaziz, is he coming today? Okay.
I would just,
No, I didn't get a.
You're calling them out.
We can have the conversation, Councilwoman, and I can give you the information if they applied, and if they did, why they were not funded.
right, you gotta remember now, council colleagues, this is money that most of them done spent, because it started from
Correct.
January. They already spent the money. They only got 2 months left, in the rest of the
Okay.
year. So, I mean, it's out for this year, so for next year, you know what, for next year, starting in
Okay.
2022,
Yes.
Okay.
we can look for it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very good. So.
Yeah,
so
we're almost done. We're almost done. I just want to encourage people who's listening out there that we have that Trailblazer camp. And what I found is that a lot of parents wouldn't send their kids because of the COVID, but I can tell you truly that they really did an excellent job of, these kids was away for 12 days. 12 days. It wasn't a week, it was 12 days. They stayed in the camp, in the country, in the woods. They follow all the precautions that need to be followed. So for parents, sometimes you have to give the kids the opportunity to go see other things outside of Paterson. And they did an excellent job
Great.
for that.
All right,
So I
so
just want to
Councilman,
put that out there.
would you like to put this on consent?
Yeah, that could be on consent.
I need-
Consent?
I need to speak
Yeah.
Is
first.
everyone, I know you can ask a question, but I'm just saying, is everybody
Yeah,
okay?
consent.
Yeah,
So,
it's
Madam
fine.
Clerk, 36 is going to go on consent. Councilman Velez, you have a question for the director?
Yeah, Director, thank you. Thank you for your diligent work. I see a different format on this paper today. In the past, they used to put the organization name, the address, they used to put the administration side of it and what was gonna be, allocated to get service. You have an amount of money of, for example, $30,000, right? So what entail that $30,000? What they giving? What they gonna use it for? Because
That information's in the application, and if
Correct.
you'd like
And
that, we can
that's right.
sit
That's why.
and go
because
over that,
In the
yes.
past, we used to have the application attached. It's not now. But
Okay, I'll ask my program
Correct.
monitor to do
The,
that.
the only thing here, what I see here, I see two items, 14 and 15, has a star on it. What is that? Council for Handicap and Council for
No,
Aging?
the Mayor's
What is it?
Council on the Aging, and the Mayor's Council on the Handicap, those are standard, they always get funded under this program.
And who put the application?
It's from the city. There's an actual council that meets, and they draw down from that money.
All right, so, just to the viewer out there, and I know you, Director, you're gonna agree, and the council is gonna agree. There's money, and there's grants, is out there to allocate to individuals that have everything in place. 501(c), all the registration for the state, city, or whatever you have, all the certification. Make sure that you have everything in order and participate. And always there's a deadline. Please, participate, make sure you have everything in place for they could allocate the right funding to your organization. Thank you, Council President.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that item, Madam Clerk, is going to go on consent as per. 43 is going to go, that can go on consent, Councilwoman. You
Which
want
one
it
is
on
that?
regular? All right, we're going to also add co-sponsored by the municipal council, okay? So, Madam Clerk, on item 43, which will go on regular, we'll also have a co-sponsor of the rest of the municipal council.
I'm gonna move
Yes.
it, I'm gonna move it for now.
Okay, so we have our Director of
Public Works.
DPW.
26
DPW.
26 the same.
Oh, 26, also, we're gonna do, Madam Clerk, 26 is gonna go on regular, and it's also going, co-sponsored by the municipal council, the rest of the municipal council, and 25 will go
Oh,
on
Council.
regular as well. Okay? 25 and 26, Madam
Okay,
Clerk.
okay.
All right? Okay, Director.
Council President.
Mr. Chair.
She wanna do a request, gonna be sponsored also at the,
To add him as a sponsor
Which one?
for 26.
yes.
25 and 26.
That's what I just said. We're gonna, you're
No.
sponsoring it, and it's co-sponsored by the rest of the municipal council.
Correct. We're gonna be sponsors, but also the remaining council is gonna be co-sponsors. They added me as a sponsor also, not co-sponsor.
No, you're not understanding. Are you talking about 25?
No, 26.
26 is sponsored by Councilwoman Mims and
co-sponsor.
co-sponsored by the rest of the municipal
And I
council.
spoke to her, she said she want me to add me as sponsor with her too.
Council? Okay, Madam Clerk, 26 will be sponsored by Councilwoman Mims and Councilman Velez and co-sponsored by the rest of the municipal council.
Yes, thank you.
Okay? All right, so we are now, Mr. Chair, we're now going to cover
DPW.
public, DPW, yes.
Correct.
We did, hold on, oh, no, I can't, that has to go on regular because that item, I need to recuse myself.
Which one is
Which
that?
item?
45.
No, she said 25. It's regular, Councilwoman Cotton.
I'm sorry, you said 25 or 45?
25.
25, yeah, it's going on regular. But 45 is as well. All right, Mr. Chair, DPW. Items 40, 41, 42, and 44, correct?
44 has to come off.
I thought it was supposed to come off. That's what I thought through Harry.
Yeah,
So-
44 has to come off.
All right, so 44 is off, council members, so we're
Correct.
just gonna do 40. We already did the second reading, first reading. You weren't here, but we already covered those. We're going
I was here. I
now.
was in the hallway.
Were you ready?
Yeah, I was here.
40, 41, and 42. Mr. Chair?
Director, how are you?
Suit solicits and contract.
Good, nice to see you.
Excuse me?
41, can you explain us why
No,
21st
40,
Avenue?
40.
40.
It's 40, 41, and
Oh,
42.
sorry, I'm going backwards. 41st. Can you explain 40 and where we're using those?
This is
Referee.
this is for recreational basketball, referee services.
The
correct?
after-hour program?
Excuse me?
Is also covering the after-hours program?
No, this is for referee services, for the referee basketball games.
And it's still the same amount every year, 25,200?
Last year we didn't have it, I believe it's the same amount as the year before.
So what happened with that funding last year? They didn't use it?
I believe it was moved.
So this item is not to exceed 17,000,
No, it's
correct?
not
No, it's
22.5.
Huh?
25,000.
25,200, Madam President.
This says right here, the Director of Recreation has determined and certified in writing that the value of the service will, I thought it said will not exceed 17.5.
Where you have it?
We're in item 40, right?
We in 40, yeah.
Okay, in the 1, 2, 3, the fourth, whereas.
Yeah, that's, I don't know why that's there.
But on the bottom, it
That's a
said
typo?
That's a typo.
25,200, Madam
Typo.
President.
My question was,
Got it.
Council President, is what happened last year award? Madam BA, can you answer that?
Madam VA?
I'm sorry, last year's award for number 41?
Yeah, we
No,
didn't have.
40.
40?
40. We
Isn't
didn't
this
have
the
no
annual-
basketball, no indoors play, nobody was using, no gym.
Due to the pandemic, there was a lot of stuff, there was a lot
It was
of,
canceled.
it was canceled.
Yeah, they didn't have recreational basketball last year.
Okay.
So they didn't submit nothing. So it wasn't used. What happened with the money allocated for that in the budget or whatever for that?
Well, a lot of the money for the year that, especially COVID, we had decreased the recreation budget that year because we weren't having as many programs.
Okay.
Okay. Fine,
All right.
very good. Item 41?
Oh, by the way, Director, can you put a schedule on the resolution for the networks, for the regular
Basketball
meeting?
games?
Yeah, right? They have they ready to play, right?
All right, no problem. I'll put it on there.
Just a schedule to see where the games
Quick
are.
question on this.
Where are the games?
You gonna go watch?
Of course, I'm a basketball player. Okay, that could go on consent.
Just have a quick question, Madam President. So, Director, I see that it said on the second whereas that the service will exceed 7,500, but not to exceed 25,200. Have we been going out for a bid on this or no, or just we using the same provided?
This was sent out, only one bidder
Only one.
returned the package.
It's under 40 anyway. They just do a quote.
Okay, all right, Director. Thank you.
Council members, are you okay with 40 going on
I'm okay
consent?
with 40.
Consent.
I just have a question for
Councilwoman
Director.
Cotton?
Director, is this a basketball for the library top Dobie League?
No, this
That's
is
just-
this is different. This is Paterson Recreation.
And they have it at
School
different
5,
schools?
yeah, School 5, School 30,
Right.
International, and Roberto Clemente.
Oh, okay. Is it, all right, so so since Councilman Velez wants to schedule, I hope when he goes that he takes a cooler with some Gatorade and
water.
juice in it. Because
Well-
our kids, I'm telling you, I go to the games, I don't have children and my kids are grown, but you'll be surprised, just taking the little things for children helps them. So, council members, if you all get a chance, go to the game and bring a cooler with some Gatorade and
Well, let me give you.
water and juice and.
Okay.
Let me give you a great news, ma'am. Let me give you a great news.
Great
I had a basketball program at the new Roberto Clemente School, and I used to go to their games.
I
At the
do
same
too.
time, and I say at the same time, I
I do
donate
too.
too.
Okay.
So, hey,
Thank you.
Thank you for reminding me.
All right, thank you very much. So 40 will go on consent.
Council President, before we continue, in the fourth whereas, the value of the service will not, we have to amend
You
this,
to 25,200,
will not exceed, correct? The
25,000
word
to
not
2.
should be listed there.
So I think that whereas where I was reading it, I think what it was stating is that that it was stating that the value will exceed the 17,500.
But not to exceed.
So I was reading it will not.
No, it
so-
should be, will not.
But it's clarified. Huh? But no more than 25,
So
right?
it should say will not exceed
Okay,
25,200.
so we'll have legal to correct the
Okay.
resolution. Thank you.
Very well.
I have a question, Council President. I just
40,
have a
on item
question.
40? Or just on the general?
It's aligned with it.
Okay.
Just a question for recreation, when it comes to the teams, softball, football, do we as a city supply the uniforms, or are the children responsible for their own uniforms?
For basketball, I'm not sure. Certain programs get uniforms. I know in softball, definitely the girls pay for their own. Not the girls, but the teams themselves pay for their own.
So I just have
The city sponsors referee services, the softballs, the insurance.
So I just have a question, because, you know, as a city, we should be definitely making sure that our children have what they need when they play. So I just want to make a recommendation to the director and to our business administrator to get a list of all the teams so that we can identify who's getting uniforms, who's not, see what that dollar amount is. That should be something coming out of the city's budget. There are a lot of parents in, you know, different various situations in their homes, and they possibly can't afford uniforms. So I think that is something that we should look at as a city in our budget. I don't know the amount, but the guesstimate should not be that high, but it's something that we should do, especially that our youth are representing the city of Paterson. So Director, along with the BA, if we could take a look at that, that should be something that is allocated in the city's budget.
I know the city does the T-ball, the bitty ball. We sponsor those uniforms. Anything older than that, I believe.
Still
it's
not
team-based.
enough. We got to do better.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Mims. Councilman Rivera?
So yeah, that was part of my line of questioning. About 2 years ago, I asked how that budget was broken down. And that was the intent behind it. We have been increasing recreation's budget every year since I've been a council member. And most of the time, that money just get put into salaries. So that is something to look at. I want to echo what my colleague just stated. We're not here to micromanage. That's not our function. But we could make recommendation based on the need of our community. And I just want to reiterate what you just stated, that we want this administration to look into this matter in detail and make sure that all the sports are have the tools necessary to, I guess, continue with their season.
Thank you.
Council
Thank
President.
you very much. And as the finance chair, Councilman Rivera, I approve that message.
And not only that.
I will say, one
Thanks to
second,
Councilwoman
Councilman.
Mims for saying it.
I will state this, because Councilman Rivera, you know how many times we get asked to sponsor different teams, and obviously, those are monies that comes from us. So, Madam BA, so I'm sure that you heard what Councilwoman Mims and Councilman Rivera stated, okay? And I hope that there is a priority put on that.
I heard about the uniforms.
Yes.
And then, okay.
Looking
Yes.
into the budget.
Yep.
Okay?
You got it.
Councilman Velez.
And also, Madam BA and Director, Madam BA, I could count with my hands, like 5 registered nonprofit adult softball teams in the city of Paterson. They should be included too in this sponsorship from the city. I could mention the names.
Councilman, I
Yes,
just touched, you're treading on waters right now that I'm not sure.
No.
That opens doors for any nonprofit, and I think what Councilwoman Mims was stating is specific to our children, recreation.
Yeah, but.
Councilman Velez, I
you have
think
to-
maybe that
you
we
have
can
to
have a
look at-
conversation in committee.
Correct.
To have a better discussion, with the committee, and then we can determine. I'm not sure that that's the route that we as a
You
city.
telling me that's not the route?
No.
When
In
the
my
city of
opinion, no.
Paterson, hold on, when the city of Paterson sponsor adult event and sports?
No, they're adults.
No,
They could pay for their own
They
stuff.
do, and I could prove you, and I will support that.
Okay.
So we're gonna do that across the board with every organization that dedicates a sport in the city of Paterson. We cannot just pick
You're
one
talking about
organization.
you're talking about the men leagues that occupy our softball parks right now, and are destroying our brand-new park that's only a year over.
I never
yeah.
say that
That's the
destroying.
league you're talking about?
All right, let us stick to this agenda.
Let's have a
Okay.
conversation.
Council President, let me
I know,
clarify. He had
Councilman,
to
I
clarify
really-
that statement because he cannot say that the adult-mans are destroying that park.
They are.
I cannot prove that.
I can't.
Okay,
So-
Councilman Velez, one second. Councilman Velez, as a director of DPW, he oversees all of our parks and our fields, okay? And he's over recreation. So if he makes a statement as a director, I mean, I want to believe that he's getting paid to do a job. So if he's informing us that, all right, he has not mentioned a name.
That's right,
All right,
he
but
said
he
adults.
made a statement, and let us just leave it right there. And I think that is something, Director, that you need to bring to our next DPW
Correct.
committee meeting.
Okay.
Because you talking like, that they're destroying the park, but we don't get no reports about
Okay.
that.
Okay.
And I agree with you, Councilman Velez, okay? So, item 41. This is the solicitation of bids for the 21st Avenue Sewer Separation CSO.
Council President, the question was in that one is that, what discretion to use to start in 21st Avenue and when there's a major flooding in 20 Avenue? And that's every time. It rains a little bit, and it get flooded. So what was
I don't understand the line of question, Councilman.
what was the criteria that you used to choose 21st Avenue, sir?
It's part of the CSO program that was
Okay.
presented to the council twice. This is just one of the locations that we're gonna do.
And if I, Council President, if I could jump into,
Madam BA.
there are 3 projects that were mandated in part by
one
the
of them.
EPA. This is one of them, and I'll wait for a sec here, just so
Madam
the
President.
councilman hears.
One second. Madam BA is speaking.
Right.
And I know the councilman had this question about 21st Ave versus 20th, and the work that will be done on 21st Ave will support and will make it better for everyone on 20th Ave, 21st Ave. This is the sewer separation part, again, that was EPA mandated. So this is part of a much larger, there are 3 projects that have all been, that the council passed capital bonding for, that we have to do within this year. This is one of them.
Okay, so,
Well, in other words, you're telling me that as soon as you do that separation of combined, it will alleviate the 20 Avenue?
It should help with it.
gonna help
I
a lot.
cannot guarantee 100% that it's, gonna solve every problem, but it should help.
Okay, thank you.
okay, thank you very much. So, Mr. Chair, I'm
Council
gonna
President?
speak.
That is not a true
Mr. Chair, so 41.
Council President?
All consent.
One second. Okay, so, Councilman Mendez, then Councilman Abdelaziz.
Thank you, Director. And Director, my question is related with this item. Since Madam BA said that project have to take place this year, there's been an ongoing problem in the Third Ward, and it's right on 18th Avenue, 17th Avenue, East 33rd, 34th. We are witnesses of, with every little rain, there's a river. People, they're losing their car. It get flooded out, water going to the basement. It's a disaster in that whole section. Now we're moving into Park Avenue, it's getting flooded. What are we doing with that? I don't believe that 21st Avenue, it will be more important than this section. You've been a witness of that, and there's videos all over the place. Once we get a little bit of rain, not a lot, just a little bit, 18th Avenue, it just got to control. And the whole section, 17th, 34th, 35th. What are we doing about this area, Madam BA? Because this is a 911 situation.
So, one second, Councilman, I was trying to, Councilman Mendez, 41, your comments right now are not on 41. Your comments are about,
It's related with 41 because, I mean, they have this project with a sewer in this section, but I believe, isn't this
you
the
want to know
right,
status of where we are with 17th
this is the right time
Ave
for
and-
us to ask about 18th Avenue, 17th Avenue, East 34th, 33rd?
So, Director,
Okay. The
can you answer this
41
status?
41 was a mandate by the state.
Okay.
This is part of the 3 projects that was mandated. What you're talking about, 18th Ave, 31st Street, or that area over there.
17th Ave.
That's part of the bigger project from the CSO that we're collectively doing as a CSO community that we gave to the DEP so that we could fix the whole CSO
Okay.
communities, all the floodgates and such. 18th Ave, 19th Ave, all those areas.
Okay.
That'll be mandated later on. With that, the later stages of the project, or building out the project right now with all the other communities, you guys approved everything you guys approved, the resolution to go with the other communities. Now we're coming up with a whole plan.
Okay.
If you guys want, I can have Fred come here next meeting and he can explain the whole thing.
Director, if definitely Fred have to be in the next meeting to have an explanation and let the constituent know in my ward, what are we doing in this section, and what is the plan? Because it's just out of control what's going on with the flooding on the whole section. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Councilman Mendez. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Thank you, Council President. So, Director, I'm very happy to see that this item is on 21st Ave. Hopefully, we'll alleviate some of the flooding on 20th Ave. But my question is, with this project, the time frame and from where on 21st Ave is it going from what section to what section?
It's going to be like CSO chambers. So I'm not exactly what's the cross street on it. I could send that to you tomorrow, have Fred send the specifics of it, the specs on it.
Please do, because as you know, we worked hard to get $500,000 to do the streetscape project along 21st Ave also. So I want to, and then hopefully we could repave that road and really enhance 21st Ave. So I just want to make sure that we're coordinating with the projects, right? So whatever this goes in place, and then hopefully a streetscape project, which I think we're going out to bid soon to redo the with the state grant that we received for that area. So I'm glad that this is on, Director. Thank you for explaining how the sewers from 8th Ave to 21st Ave don't really connect. It's different systems, but I'm glad that. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President.
No, he's getting aid from
One
the state.
second,
No.
Councilwoman Cotton.
Okay, thank you. I just want to say to the director, as everyone know, I've been following the CSOs, because what we have to do, since we have a combined sewer system, and it's been like that for 200 years, we have to separate them. So hopefully, what happens is when they do this work on 21st Avenue, and Fred will probably come, it'll allow us to separate it now, like water from your house and rainwater. It'll separate it so everything is not coming in together. I can clearly probably say this bid will be about $500,000, but I'm guessing what I have seen in the past, and we've been talking about that. We've been spending $2 and $3 million a year fixing CSO, and Fred is really the expert on the CSO, but it's a $1 billion project. I won't see it get done, but at least once we open the streets up and we're able to separate, that's what you want to do, is separate it when we're able to. And I'm telling you, I see East 16th Street is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been like that for a long time. I want to say thank you, because I'm talking about,
I know.
you know, I'm talking about the CSO problem that was there on East 16th and Pullman.
Yes.
It was a major problem for quite some time, so at least it's done now.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Cotton. Thank you. All right, so council members, so 41 is gonna go on consent and 42 is gonna go on consent as well. The only thing I am going to ask about 42, Madam BA, and I'm gonna ask it again, I think I ask it almost every time we sit down in finance, where are we with Carlisle?
I know the last time that we spoke about Carlisle is that it's on the list of streets that we submit as part of the DOT awards every year, and it depends on what funding we get, if it makes it to that street.
If it doesn't make the list, then it gets bumped
But
down
it
to
was
the next.
approved,
Then it goes
that
for
was
the-
approved. I went knocking on doors when we approved, when it was
The
approved.
street was approved, but the funding source probably didn't make the funding source for it. So it's still approved, it just has to wait another year to get funded.
I've been talking about this for over 3 years.
Director, Council President, if you may, because I think we had this conversation. Carlisle Ave, was that on the list that was approved by this council on the bond from 20? I think that's the list, and Council President, because I asked for an update. Remember when we amended the bond from 2014 or 2016 before this administration came in? We amended it because we had some more money in that bond, and we added 20. I think Carlisle's on that list.
Carlisle was on that.
And I had a discussion, because I asked an update for the roads in my ward as to when they were going. And I've been in conversation with Fred. If Carlisle's on that list, I think it'll be sometime next spring, early fall.
Get you
with the
definite dates in the
RFPs.
morning,
I need an update.
tomorrow morning.
Thank you very much.
Council
All right,
President?
so, Councilman Jackson?
Thank you, Council President. First, let me apologize to everyone that was at a funeral for Miss Deborah Butler Paterson. So it ran over. I apologize for being late. So I just wanted to interject while we did have the director, and I walked in on the conversation relative to the CSO systems. I'm a lot more optimistic than Councilwoman Cotton. This is a job that can be obtained, or can be is a situation that can be achieved, but it's going to take some work. So, Director and Madam BA, Corporation Counsel, Madam President, I think we need to make sure that we put a spotlight on what's going on within community improvement, because this is not just a one area job. There's so many projects that are being built that they're not doing the required drainage runoff contamination or containment, I'm sorry. So if we don't have the building department doing the proper inspections for containment, that's adding additional water to our already troubled CSO systems. We have all this new construction, new building going on, and I can tell you right now, from personal experience, I know that they're not doing those inspections. Relative to that, Council President, I've been helping a young lady who pulled permits, who actually paid for a special board meeting through the Board of Adjustments and was approved almost 2 years ago. Her file was lost. She still can't obtain her permits. That department under economic development and the way the current structure in which it's running is totally out of control. There needs to be some type of internal audit and review and investigation of what's going on with that department, because that's part of the reason why we're failing. And lastly, I'll just say this. I did notice, Mr. Director, that 31st Street was being paved, and we know that there's been a sinkhole there. So we're gonna find out, how diligent we are in making sure that the work that we're doing is not in null. We make repairs above ground without making sure the repairs of underground are done properly. And what's the point of that? It's just pointless. But obviously, it's really to know that no one's real concerned. But anyway,
Okay.
Madam BA, can we get some type of report from the UCC department, the Uniform Code Department, relative to all the projects that have come through that have submitted and been inspected on these water containment systems that's required by state law? Thank you, Council President.
Thank you very much. So, all right, so that item, if everyone's okay, those two items, actually those
3 items.
I'm sorry, those 3 items, 41, and 42 are gonna go on consent. Councilwoman Mims?
Yes, so I just want to put it on record. I spoke to the director, but Madam BA, want to bring it to your attention. On Fair Street, there is a metal plate in the road, but in front of the metal plate now, there is a deep, what do you call it, Billy?
Depression?
A depression in the road. So, before you even get there, on the corner by, I think it's Family Dollar, there's a big impression or a dent right there in the corner. When you're driving through the street, there's a plate, but directly in front of it, very shortly, a car is gonna go right down in there. So I gave it to the director, I'm giving it to the BA, because I think there needs to be an urgent request on it. They cannot wait till the end of the year. So can we take a look at that, find some funding, and make sure we resolve it? Because today, my car went in the hole.
Thank you
so
very much, Councilwoman Mims. Madam, Councilman Rivera.
I just want to ask a general question. If a manhole is, if the top of the
Raised?
manhole is
Raised?
flipped, are you guys able to?
Yeah.
Because I got a call from someone in the county, and I've been calling a few times about the same manhole that keeps flipping or haven't been addressed. DPW staff told the county that they would not be able to do it, that they would have to call a company for them to come do it. I'm not saying it's true. I was told, this is what I was told. But it's the same manhole that I've been calling for a long time now.
8th Avenue.
I think it was Fifth Ave, I think it was. But I just wanted to bring that up. I know this is not, I'm not in DPW, that's why I'm bringing it. I just wanted to ask the question since they're bringing that up.
Jump
Okay.
out your car and flip
Thank-
it over, Councilman.
Thank you very much.
Council President,
Take
Councilman.
that much effort.
All right, so council members, we're gonna move
Council
on.
President, we speaking about,
Councilman Velez?
yeah, we speaking about manhole, potholes and all that. Corporate Council, and I direct this question to Corporate Council through the chair, and I know DPW is not for on that, but you recall about 3 weeks ago, I spoke, or 4 weeks ago, regarding the PC&G and blocking Market Street all the way down for weeks. Business owners are suffering. They're not getting the revenues there. They still have to pay their taxes. Do you have an update conversation with them regarding how can we compensate them based on them? It's not their fault. They didn't ask for a new installation of gas. They didn't ask for closing the roads, and especially Market Street and Park Avenue is on one-way road. So how we could compensate them, because the revenue have been going down for them. And and not only that, also is affecting the cleanliness of Market Street, because the truck cannot go through, right, Director? The schedule, the sweeper cannot even go through. It's creating a big problem on Market Street and that section there.
Okay.
Can you get me more information, how we could move forward to see how we could compensate them and move forward?
Council President?
Corporation Counsel?
Thank you. And thank you, Councilman Velez, for that question. Yes, you did inquire about this situation, and I've had someone from the law department looking into it since you've inquired. They are liaisoning with PSE&G. We're also looking at any permits that were issued to see whether or not the scope of work exceeded those permits or the street closures. In addition, since you inquired with us and we inquired with PSE&G, my understanding is they've since finished the work and reopened it and moved on to a different section. So I don't know if that was the impetus as a result of your inquiry to us and us reaching out to them, but we're still looking into that question about whether or not the residents may seek compensation directly.
Well, they just
Thank you
opened
very
the-
much,
they
Corporation
just-
Counsel.
They just opened the
Councilman
road.
Velez?
They just opened the road from Straight Street to Summer, but they closed the road from Summer all the way down to Madison. So they going moving forward. So every piece of the Market Street is getting affected on this. So to see if they could expedite or do something, but they have to.
Thank you very much, Councilman Velez. All right, so we have a few more items left, so we're gonna bring it back. Statutory agency, I see that it's back on, 21 and 22.
Correct, Council President.
It's taken off from the October 5th agenda, so Director Irma Gorman?
Director.
Mr. Chair, we're on
Yes,
statutory
Director,
agencies.
she's here, Council President. First of all, I want to say thank you for allowing me to put this back in the agenda. Council President, Director will explain why. Director, is in your hand.
No, I understand, but you're the chair. I mean, did this go through committee again?
It went to a conversation with me and also, who else in the statutory agents? Councilman Mims.
Councilwoman Mims?
Mims. And we decide, and Rubicon, and we decide to bring it back, and she will explain why. And I believe it's good to move forward.
Director, item 21 is a resolution endorsing housing need for 134-unit Christopher Hope Townhouse renovation project by Christopher Associates 2020 LLC. And 22 is the resolution endorsing housing need, that means they need a letter from us, for 179 units scattered site housing renovation project by the Paterson Associates 2020 LLC.
Yes, thank you, council members, for putting the items back on the agenda. when we were here last, we requested this resolution of need that covers the request for affordable housing for the city of Paterson, which is required by the HFMA when developers come in to obtain funding. And basically, it's just a statement of the need for affordable housing.
Are you going to address any of the things that were addressed before? I mean,
Yes,
there was a
we
reason why it was
did.
taken off.
Yeah, we did prepare a packet that was sent to the council
It's also
back on October 7th.
It's attached in behind the resolution.
I'm reading.
What number is this?
All right, council members,
It's the scope of
there isn't
work.
much questions about it, then how do you want to proceed? Item 21.
Regular? Both of-
Regular.
Yeah, both of them. regular.
I have questions. I was waiting for.
Councilman Abdulaziz.
Since it's a workshop.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go back to what I'm looking at here, right? We have all these units that we want to renovate. And these are, some are for totally private, correct?
The proposal that's before the HFMA is for private and public housing units as part of a mixed finance project, yes.
Okay, so I think the one that's totally private, meaning not a thing to do with the city of Paterson, not our land, not our building, is the 179 units
Correct.
scattered around the city, right?
It's basically.
179 units, correct?
Yes, it's basically on the north side and off of Market Street, near Summer Beach, coming
And-
back to Straight Street, yes.
Okay, thank you. So I only have a 2-page ordinance in front of me. I don't see no attachments here for 22. So let this sink in so the public knows. So would you consider the senior apartments that your agency owns and runs affordable housing?
Yes,
Okay, so the ones that we own, the senior is considered affordable housing, correct?
the Paterson Housing Authority, yes, owns a number of senior buildings that are affordable housing and will be processed. We're in the process of also renovating those units.
All right, so that's where where I'm hesitant about number 22. You're asking us to endorse renovations for private homes that we do not own, right? Where we endorse it, they get the loan, they work on it, when in reality what should be in front of us are the units that we currently control and we currently own that needs us probably 10 times more of an upgrade than the ones that are in front of me right now. Some of these units on 22 are only 21 years old. So I'm gonna look at 179 unit. I'm gonna bring it back to the unit, the housing complex that I have in my ward. It's 188 units. This thing in front of me that you want me to support and endorsing the need for is about 20 plus years old. The one in my ward was built in 1965. So where's the priority list here? I know you just told me we have something, but how does this come in front of us and not the ones that
Because it's a mixed finance project prior, and the funding that's required for it requires this statement of resolution from the city. The senior housing that the Housing Authority owns, we're not going for this type of funding that would require the city to provide a statement of need.
So I understand why the statement's needed. Once again, I'm going back to how a 20-plus-year-old project is right in front of us and getting complete and renovated before 188 units, and I'm just specifically talking about mine. There's probably more around the city. Without putting, why is this one in front of us first and the other ones aren't?
As I mentioned at the last meeting, Councilman, the 6 senior buildings are on track, same as the mixed finance project renovation. The difference is, again, is the financing. We will be closing on the financing for the Housing Authority-owned buildings come July. They're running concurrently the same. It's just that the developer is getting state funding, and their timeline is a little different than ours. But we're at the same point of looking at the renovations.
And you said, so the financing for your state, or the Housing Authority-owned complexes, you're going to close the financing in July?
Yes.
Correct. So
we will
I don't
be
know,
sitting
so what,
our financing package to HUD in July.
so if
which-
you're working on the package right now,
Yes.
how much of a renovation does Mazziello get in that package?
Mazziello is going to be getting a substantial renovation. I do not know what the cost of that will be right today, because we have an architectural firm putting together with the design of the kitchens, the flooring, the lobby, the roofing, the boiler. It's a very substantial repair renovation project, not only for Mazziello, but for our other 5.
So you're planning on doing all 5?
Yes, all 6 buildings.
All 6, so we're looking at...
Along with the single-family Sojourner Douglas site.
Okay, so what's your expected projection of when, you told me financing is completed in July. When do you think that project will be up and running? From your your experience in this trade, you've been at
And my experience in this area could be 9 months to 18 months.
Thank you, Council President.
Council President.
President.
Councilman Rivera, then Councilman Mendez.
Just have some general questions. So these properties are owned by the developer?
Yes.
Okay. So I wonder, the developer's fee that he's gonna make out of this loan, how much is it?
I think in the documents that we sent you, one property, the 179 units, it's over about $2.8 million, a little over $2.8 million.
That's one property. I thought the
Yeah.
overall was close to 7 million.
So I thought he's making like $7 million. I just wanna hear it from you, that's why I'm asking the question.
No, it's in the report that you received.
So, one more thing, those properties right now, and they're in full taxation right now, right?
No, they're receiving pilot.
Those are receiving pilots. When is, how long is the pilot for, Javier, for those?
Christopher Hope, 30 years. I don't know when they
When is
end.
it due?
I would have to check for you.
Because,
Well, if they've been 20 years and it's 30, so we're talking maybe another 10 years.
so,
And are they gonna come back and ask for another pilot?
no, it's not about asking, but depending on what they're gonna do to those properties now, the administration is able to give them another abatement,
No,
depending on what they're doing to them, no?
no.
Was it?
Council President, I'm sorry.
Madam President.
Council President, is the police director here?
One second,
The
because
music is
Councilman
blasting.
Abdelaziz, Councilman Mendez asked for
Hold
the
on.
floor first before you.
All right.
So, hold
No,
on,
no.
Council President.
Councilman Rivera,
So, are we in a practice now to just issue letters to everyone that is looking to get, funding from the state? It's just like, in all the years that I've been here, I haven't seen this.
On the previous program proposal, and building of this project, there was a letter given by the city.
Yes.
Yes, this letter is just normal procedure. And it sort of supports the consolidated plan that the city does and updates every year that speaks to affordable housing. It's been done in the last 20 years, every time there's a project that has this type of impact and requires this type of financing.
Councilman Rivera.
I'm gonna wrap it up.
No, I don't want you to wrap it up. I just want to, because you said you wanted her to put it on record.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at this.
No. And she only indicated that it was $2 million.
That's where I'm going right now.
Okay, because the records reflect it's $7.7 million with an upfront of $4.5 million. So when you're putting on record, no, it's only $2 million.
So, yeah, I'm gonna look at
Why
these
are we not
numbers.
getting the full information?
I'm
gonna look at these numbers. From my understanding, that they made like 14 out of the other project. Now they're looking to make another 7 out of this one. So, I'm gonna have to look at the numbers again.
Okay.
But I just wanted to hear from
Councilman
them.
Mendez?
Thank you, Madam President. I think that, Director, so going back to what my first question at the beginning, I know, it's my understanding, and I know because I've been in some of those units, that those units, they're in need of repair, they're in need of upgrade. I understand that. The first question that I have is, I know we have an existing pilot program in both property. Are they looking to have a new pilot program or tax abatement on top of this?
No.
That's the question. Question is no.
No.
Okay. The letter, so in Item 21 and 22, so there's a need of a letter in support in order for them to go to the state
Yes.
to get private funding to finish those projects.
Correct.
Okay, what is the responsibility of the city by providing those letters? What is our liability? Because I understand the topic. There's no tax abatement. There's no pilot program. And starting with that, I'm okay with that. And people know how I feel about all the tax abatement that we've been giving out for decades in the city of Paterson, which, and at the same time, the homeowners in the city of Paterson, they're struggling every year with tax increase after tax increases, but a lot of new construction, they have pilot program, tax abatement, and the whole 9 yard. So taking in consideration that we're not getting any tax abatement, any pilot program, can you explain to us what is the responsibility of the city by providing those letters in order for them to get the private funding?
The city, by providing this letter, is making the statement that they're in support of providing this component of housing for the city. That's all.
Thank you,
No
Madam President.
funding. And
Councilman Jackson?
Just
Director. Go ahead, you can complete.
Council President, there's $2.8 million, $2.879 million on the 179 units and 1.683 developers fee on the 134 units. You asked, there was a question about 179 units.
So it's about 4 million.
4.4.
4.4.
Yes.
Okay. Councilman Jackson? And then Councilwoman Cotton. Councilman Jackson?
Thank you, Council President. So, my first question, I think I already know the answer, just want to make sure we put it on record. Corporation Council, when members of the administration or the cabinet come before this council to give statements, testimonies, are these testimonies given under oath?
May I, Council President?
Corporation Council.
Thank you. Thank you for your question, Councilman Jackson. Do you mean up on the mic here?
Correct.
No, these statements are not under oath.
They're not under oath. Okay, so what's unfortunate, and not to spotlight the current director, because I know this happens often. We're given information that's not accurate, whether it's intentional or not. But everyone knows this is something that I've been making a big deal about since I took tenure on this council seat. It's not something I took issue with down the line. Then I was 8 in favor, 1 against, the only person who actually was shining light in this. But if you go to the second page, council members, and this, I'm disappointed the chairman of finance, the chair of finance left out, because, you know, these issues should be firmly placed on his lap. You know, if the city's being cheated, you know, we have people who are in place who should be, you know, ensuring that the city's not taken advantage of. So on the second page, it outlines under number 2, it talks about the number of units. Greater Paterson Development, 179 units, hard cost $77,000 per unit. And then it talks about the Christopher Columbus Townhomes, 134 units for $85,000 per unit per cost. That's under line item.
Page 2, number 2.
Correct, correct. Now, if you, that outlines that outlines the initial cost. And then later on down the line, they show how the rehabilitation of the cost, is it there? The rehabilitation of those units is an identical cost. So in one line, you're talking about demolition of the former facilities that was there, and it outlines that it's relatively about $85,000 per unit, which includes demo. And now we're talking about a refurbish. So we're talking about going in there and sprucing it up, and they're outlining the same cost, which I'm totally not in agreement with, and it lines up with all of the other numbers. The initial developer's fee for the Christopher Columbus site was $12 million. This current request is going to be a total of $8.2 million. You have the 4.4, which is the upfront, and you totally neglect to input here the deferred amount, which is being deferred towards for the life of the project, which is going to be an additional.
Which, that's what it was.
Additional, that's where you guys are getting the $7.7 million from. So there's an initial upfront developer's fee, meaning the developer doesn't have to lift a finger. The moment he signs this agreement, he's going to get a $4.4 million injection. And then he's collecting rent the entire time, the entire life of this project. So the next 20 years, he's collecting full rent. Now, any other homeowner or investor, you don't get a developer's fee and then collect rent and then get another developer's fee towards the end of the project. You do your repairs based on the rental income that you collect. Now, he's not taking any shorts, mind you. He's getting full rental value. In fact, I'm sorry, Director, quick question for you. The vouchers, the project-based vouchers that's attached to these projects, are they paying, at what percentage are they paying?
They're paying 100 to 110%.
110%. So the average renter, I was formerly a Section 8 landlord. It was probably paid out to me at 75, 80%. And this developer who's given the project property, he's not paying full taxation. He gets a $4.4 million, and remember, this is just to upgrade the facilities. The maintenance that he neglected to do over the last 20 years, in which he got a $20 million developer's fee for. He neglected to do all of this maintenance. Now he's going to get a reward for that neglect, a $4.4 million reward up front, and as long as he sits back and does the same thing for the next 20 years, he'll get an additional $3.7 million on top of the rent that he's collecting, and he doesn't make a contribution back to the community through normal taxation. Forget sponsoring a team that we can coach and so on and so forth. But let me point out a couple other things.
Can I just respond to that,
Sure.
Councilman?
Go ahead, Director.
Councilman Jackson, each year, HUD issues new rents, fair market rents for our area. And in my 20 years at the Housing Authority, and at the point that you were a landlord, we've never paid 75% rent. We have the flexibility to go from 95 to 100%. And with the designated zip
I'm sorry,
codes.
did you mean 95 to 100? 'Cause how's he getting 110 if you have the flexibility to go from 95 to 100?
Because by zip codes, we're given specific percentages, and this has only been in the last 2 years. So it's not that the housing authority set the rents just because we want it to be. We're given guidance every year, September, on what those rents can be. So it's not a poke in the dark sort of stuff.
Well,
We
I
have
am
guidance.
aware of the fair market rental value that's set by a zip code that formerly was only set by the Bergen County rate, which Paterson formerly, when I had Section 8 tenants, we went by the Bergen County rate. Now, every zip code has its own rate, which is pretty much relative. It's the same, but every landlord in this community is not privy to 110% of that value because their vouchers don't pay the same, and I know quite a few that don't. But let me just finish up.
And
I don't
that's
want to.
because of rent reasonable for each apartment that we sign a lease for. So it varies
But
throughout the
what we're
city.
talking about here, Madam Director, is the fact that a landowner, or not even a landowner, because he didn't make a purchase. He entered into a public-private partnership with the city. And
With the
and
housing
he's given
authority.
enormous amount of concessions that no one else is receiving, and yet and still, let me tell you something. I went over to one of his other buildings at 50 Belmont Avenue. The amount of disrespect that I received from the staff there, at the very least, let's say you serve bad food, at least give good service. We
I
can't
agree.
even get good service. I have seniors who who are complaining about the service and the treatment they receive. So here you have a gentleman that's coming into our community making millions of dollars off the backs of our people who has made little to no contribution back to this community. And he is given these kinds of concessions. $12 million developers fee at CCP, plus he collected rent over the last 20 years. He's currently getting another $14 million at Fifth Ave project, and he's going to collect rent over the next however many years. And then the $8 million developers fee just to come back and do what he neglected to do over the last 20 years. When are we going to hold these people accountable to treating our residents like they deserve something better? And they're getting free money. And mind you, the people, if you go anyplace else, just wait, any other community, Garfield, Saddlebrook, it doesn't matter. You'll get better treatment for the same exact money. So they don't have to do lawn care. They don't have to do maintenance. They don't have to have irrigation systems. They don't have to come plant flowers. So when you come outside, you're not entitled to smell fresh cut grass. You get lawn care once every 2-3 weeks. I don't know, Madam B.A., well, she doesn't even want to be part in this conversation. I don't know why those units on Arch and North Main Street, I don't know why he's not ticketed every single day, because the maintenance there is atrocious. I'm going to rest it because, you know, obviously, this is a charade that we play often, and you know, I don't understand how this even made it back to the agenda without, you know, all of these details. Council President, and I think the chairman should have been inclined to ask for the documentation. This letter, we should, no, I'm talking, you got the agreement?
Yeah.
You have the agreement? The agreement that they voted on in that shows the developer's fee. 'Cause
You
this
have it,
doesn't show
Councilwoman Mims,
that.
you have it?
It was a package.
It was
We
a
got
packet.
it. Yeah, we received it.
There's an agreement that, okay, so let's.
Councilwoman, okay.
I'll review it.
So
Thank you.
Councilwoman Cotton.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, Council President. I just want to say, and I said it a couple of weeks ago, maybe I said it last week, but for council members here, the Paterson Housing Authority is not the first entity to come before us for a letter of support. As a matter of fact, it's about 3 or 4 of them. And they're going to be coming back because Now, we can disagree with how the developer is going, but what I find that we should not sit here as council people and pick and choose who we like and who we do not like. We should not do that. People have come here and we have voted on, and maybe I may let Madam VA, Madam Clerk, do some research where we sent letter of support. We have not questioned some of those entities that we gave letter of support. One of them was 27th and 12th Ave. We gave letter of support. We never questioned him how much it costs for this unit, how much it costs to fix this. Be very careful. You know, we might disagree with how each unit is, but when you got Housing Authority has put so much, no, the federal government has put so much money in some of our development that's why they decided we tear them down. We're tearing them down. We can't continue to pump money into something. We just can't keep doing it. And I like, because they made beautiful units. There's 4 or 5 nonprofits or whatever you want to, organizations that I know that we have signed off for letter of support, because you call it the HMA, HFMA, and they're not going to give out no money, no money, unless you get a letter of support from a city that they're in. And we always talk about affordable. Man, I get calls every day for affordable. And with the Housing Authority, it's 30% of your income or whatever base it is either project-based or it's tenant-based. Where you want tenant-based because you can take it with you.
Yeah.
Project-based, it stays right there in the unit. You know, I got 485, 495, 280 12th Avenue. Dropped a lot of money, but they need a letter of support. We never questioned them how much you paid, how much did you spend to fix up each unit. We never went into all details of what it cost. The HFMA is not giving out no money if a city is not supporting a project. And it's a lot of, how you can say it, a lot of paperwork. Most developers do not want to deal with the federal government, do not want to deal with the state of New Jersey, do not want to deal with the county of Passaic, because they know how much in detail that, now, and we could disagree, but when that next person comes standing up there, where you standing now, and they're going to say, I need a letter of support, you better think about what you do first. When you deny one, that means you got to deny all. And they're going to be coming soon, because I got a unit get ready to get built. 8 units. Them houses cost almost $400,000 to build. Almost $400,000. Those people, there's no way can pay $400,000. But nobody's questioned what happens to they only paid $130,000, but nobody's questioned what happened to the $270,000. What happened with that money? Where did that money go? Because it's coming. You got to be very careful. We might disagree. And some of these units have not been fixed in years. And when I go over to some of my buildings now and see the letter of support that we sent that was done by the city, by council members here, they're beautiful. And the tenants that live in them are excited and happy that finally, after 30 years or 25 years, their units are able to get fixed. So I just want to say, from my experience and what I've been around, husband worked for Housing Authority, seen how much money was dropped in these buildings, and the federal government said, you know what? And you can go to other part of the state, you go to other part of the country,
The same.
and you can see the difference of everything. I just wanted to share that. You can disagree, which is fine, but I'm saying she is not the only one coming here for a letter of support, because we're going to have 3 more people coming up here pretty soon for a letter of support. You watch. And you got to be fair about it to everybody. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Jackson?
Thank you, Council President.
Councilman Jackson, before you go, I have a question for Madam Director.
Yes.
How much rent are this developer getting for per unit?
The rents are dependent on the bedroom size, and I'm not certain what that rent is tonight.
Wow. Is there any representative from the developer here?
We don't know the
I
rent.
saw you giving some information to the director.
Yeah, but we didn't include the rent in the document, so I can send that over before the next meeting, what the rents are by bedroom size.
What seems to
Today.
me is like we keep talking about low-income housing and all this stuff, but these people are getting market rate rent from these renters. I don't believe anybody paying any less than what market rate is, which is Bergen County, as same as Paterson. So we need to think about that as well.
Also, Councilman.
Yes, go ahead.
The rents are based on the individual's income. So it's 30% of their income.
He's not asking what do the residents pay. He's talking about the rent that the developer's collecting.
But the rents, as we know, are based on rent reasonable for the area and the market. And what HUD has said, a one-bedroom rental payment standard should be for an apartment. And I will share that with you guys.
And the developer is not here, correct?
No.
So what it seemed to me with the developer fees is like, I'm fixing my own, for example, if I own a house, I'm fixing my own house. At the same time, I'm putting a fee there, developer fee. How does that work, Madam Director?
It works because it's part of a very complex formula, financial process, and it's across the board on just about every finance. Jeff Zen, who's here with me tonight, is the attorney for Roisman, and he does apologize for tonight. His wife was taken to the hospital earlier today, and he called to let me know he couldn't make it tonight, so he sends his apologies.
Go ahead, Councilman Jackson.
I just wanted
Go
to add, on the developer fees, those are all approved. They have to be approved as part of the financing by HMFA. So the HMFA goes through that, and they approve a certain developer fee. It's not just any developer fee. And that's why when you see
Council
estimated, that's because it's got to be approved ultimately by HMFA, which is going to
President?
provide the entire financing.
Councilman Jackson, then you.
Just one question.
You want to? Yeah, go ahead, Councilman.
While you're there, real quick, I just want to know the plan, right? I'm just doing some more homework on this. So for instance, on number 22, you have 179 units that you say needs to be updated, correct?
Yes, it's going to be.
It definitely needs renovation, right?
Yes,
This is privately owned, correct?
yes.
So if you don't get this loan as the landlord, what are you going to do with these properties?
They won't be renovated. They won't have a new roof. The windows won't be replaced.
So-
The kitchen counters won't be replaced.
So as the landlord,
Normal
you're,
maintenance will be taken care of. We have to do that. And normal maintenance has been and will continue to be. But we won't go through these major renovations where, new kitchens, new bathrooms are installed and windows.
so you're saying as the landlord,
Yeah.
you're going to keep a substandard.
No,
just
I didn't say-
you just said right now,
No, I
if
didn't
we
say
don't approve
substandard.
this, you're saying it needs major renovations, correct? Is that your words?
I say we're performing major renovations. I'm not saying necessarily needs it.
Okay,
but-
also it doesn't need it. So, sir,
so
just
hold it.
let's answer the question. The 179 units that you privately own, do they need these major renovations that you have in front of me?
Yes.
I'm asking the landlord. I'm asking the landlord. This is not your.
I'm
this
not
is-
the landlord. I haven't been in any of the units. But what I'm telling you is, what we're asking for is a resolution of need that simply says affordable housing is needed
Okay.
in Paterson, and it won't cost the city a dime, it won't cost the housing authority a
Okay,
dime.
so you're saying it's simply, so I have to do my due diligence, right? I'm not gonna approve a renovation and money for a renovation if it's not needed.
But
You're
I'm not,
telling,
but it's not your money, and I'm not asking you to approve it, it's.
you're asking for an endorsement. I don't,
Yes,
so
yes.
if somebody comes and asks me for an endorsement, and I don't agree with it, is that an endorsement? So don't, now, I just had a question here, right? It's not as simple as you make it. When you come here asking for my endorsement, I get to vote on something like this. I want to know what's being done. So don't say it's simple,
Right,
it's
so-
not money, because my name will be tied to this for forever. So I take my serious, it's not as simple. So do not tell me my job is simple when I'm questioning the need of a project that's in front of me. I'm doing my due diligence I'm elected to do. So let's go back, and I'm going to calm down now. The 179 units that your agency, whoever the owner is, this private entity, if you do not get this letter, what are you going to do for these residents as the private landlord? Just like every other landlord in the city. What is the plan if you don't get this endorsement for these residents that live in your building? Not the housing authority's building, not the council's building, your building, your company's building.
Ask Mr. Zen.
Speak to the microphone, please, Director.
Oh, yes. The daily or monthly or required maintenance will continue, but when you look at the list of repairs that were provided, you can see that some are very substantial, some are amenities to, because when these units were built, they were premier units for Paterson, for the population that were being served, and we just want to bring it back to that level.
Director, I
Yes.
appreciate that answer. See, that is something, we want to bring it back to what it was. Now, this is my question, right? And I'm going back to private versus public. That's why I know the other one's our land. The 179 units is privately owned. Any other resident, I'm going to take a two-family home, affordable, right? Some people are paying probably less rent. The kitchen cabinets rot. The landlord has to fix it that owns it on their own for their tenant, right? So as the private landlord side, that's why you see me asking questions about 22. I just want to know what's the plan to make sure that the standards are upkept. We just like any other landlord in the city. Some people are in the audience have tenants. What is your plan? You don't get this. I'm sure we're going to fix what's in there, right, to make sure they're livable.
Yes.
Right? You're not telling me they're not going to be livable, correct?
Pardon me?
They're not. You're going to make sure that these are livable units,
yes.
correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Councilman Jackson.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to, first of all, I'm very appreciative because in the past, when I had former council members here, I would argue these points and be here alone. So I'm very happy today to see here that, you know, the level of accountability is growing. And this is what we have to do. We have to raise the bar of expectations. Can't just allow for these subpar conditions to be passed along to our residents. So, Councilwoman Cotton, I mean, I'm really, I want to address this because when we talk about, we got to look at, I wish you would call it out by name. Call me out by name if I have neglected any facility. Please don't insinuate that I've done such, because every single application has come before here, but yet, and still, no other applicant, no other has received as many concessions as these projects. You're talking about 12 plus 14, $26 million just in developers' fees alone, not including construction costs, now doubled down at $8 million. At $8 million over a $20 million span, that's 40%. 40% of the total cost of construction is going to go back to the developer just in developers' fees, not including what he's going to make off construction. Now, I'm going to say this lastly, Council President, and I really want my council colleagues to hear this and understand this clearly. Disappointed that they're out there, but the facilities at 60 Temple, when they were owned and ran by housing, well, not say owned, because it's still owned by housing, which is still owned by the city of Paterson. I don't want to begin to adopt that narrative, which is untrue, that it's not owned by us. He does not own this property. If we take him to court against that contract right now, we take full possession. But when these facilities were ran by housing, 60 Temple was open to the public just about 24 hours a day. When the Smoot brothers ran those facilities, and even before and after, they were available and they had programming in it. Now, in order for the community, the residents to use it, they got to make appointments and they have to rent the space or whatever the case might be. Now, this gentleman has managed and ran these facilities for quite some time, which we then turn around and we've been paying him rent just for one portion of the building, almost $2,600 per month. We own the parking lot, we own the land, and we've been paying him rent to use the land. So now he doesn't want to manage the property any longer because it's not rent generating or profit generating for him. And he decided to turn this over. And this is where my real big pet peeve comes in, Director, because now he doesn't want to manage it. I understand that members of your board made a suggestion that we turn it back over to a nonprofit so it could return back to the community. It could be community ran. I see Mr. Akbar McIntyre right there. We have plenty of nonprofit organizations that could possibly utilize the space, right? So he wants to turn it back over, and the board made a suggestion, okay, let's start whichever nonprofit offered seed money, let's put in $1 million. Now, he's walking away with $8 million developer's fee. And they said, well, listen, build build the fee or the service fee that we want to provide the nonprofit into the loan, and this gentleman is just refusing. So my suggestion or my ask to council members is that we do not give this letter of support to him until, at the very least, he fully funds the next nonprofit organization to utilize that space.
Council President, please. Council President, as the statutory chair, your request is duly noticed, but I don't know if corporate counsel is here.
I know,
There's a development agreement, there's a development agreement in place. As the statutory agency, I will allow this two resolution go to regular, and if you want to vote up and down, you could do so. It's all your choice. I think that the director has submitted a scope of work, and behind the resolution, if you want to agree on it or not, you could do it in a solid vote on it.
Right.
So,
Put it on regular. You want to vote it down, vote it down.
yeah, just put in regular, Council President, and
Listen.
that will end for me, it will end there.
Council President.
I'm totally in favor.
Council
Put it on
President.
regular. So we'll see who's voting in favor of the community and who's not.
Council President.
One second, Councilwoman Khan. Councilwoman Mims, then Councilwoman Khan.
So I think I spoke on this a lot, some things get to a point, and
Yeah.
it's very serious, but it's almost scary because it's not what's being stated. And I want you to hear this clearly to the people in the audience and the people that are listening to the public. We have before us a statement of need where you have a developer that has identified, and I've been in the units, where there needs to be upgrades. He wants to upgrade some that he owns, some that are city, but the developer wants to upgrade. So he's coming to us to say, I need a statement of need saying that in the first ward, these apartments need to be upgraded. I don't want an additional pylon. Councilwoman Cotton was exactly right. Only one person voted no, and
Yep.
to extend that pylon and gave him an additional 30-year.
Yep.
We did it as a council, and I was here.
Yep.
You were right, Councilwoman Cotton. I wish I could high five you all the way down the aisle.
Correct.
And
We approve it.
we approved it, except for one person that voted no. But and you can look up the record, it was in Federation Apartments on East 27th and 12th Ave. Google it, you'll find out one councilman voted no. So then you have the renovations. I've seen the apartments. They definitely need what's being offered. The developer is not asking the city for a penny. No dollars. Can you hear me? We've had stuff come before us, and we voted, not with a question, not with interrogation, and not with a blink of an eye. And we just voted on it. But it's alarming and scary to me And I'm not saying don't ask questions, because I think we should. But if we did it consistently to everybody, I wouldn't have an issue. But it's kind of segregated. It's pick and choose. You said it exactly right. And for me, I live by the Riverside housing. I live by there. I saw, and some people that are in the audience, they live there. I saw what it looked like. I saw what the residents were living in. And when this came before us to approve, we voted. The work that's being done, you should go see it yourself. It is absolutely amazing compared to what was in there before. The aesthetics, the greenery, the spacing. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And people are living there. So it's not like it's not done. People physically are living there. Let's talk about CCP, right? We're familiar with CCP. That's his as well. We see the transformation. These are transformational projects. I'm not standing on advocacy for a developer. I look at work that's been done. I look at the transformation. I look at not the transformation of just the work, but of the lives of the people that live there. Riverside is the project is so awesome. You have over 3,000 people waiting on the waiting list to be next in line to move there. So that tells you something, that something obviously is right.
Call me every day.
This project before us, what we have before us, we're not voting on a pilot. We're not voting to give money. It's a statement of need. I agree, Councilman Velez. We could vote it up or down, whether it passed or fell. But I'm going to always stand with the residents.
Council President.
Those residents deserve, in the first ward, the upgrade of their apartments. They deserve it. Other people have gotten it. We've approved it. We voted on it. Didn't even go through this. And it's alarming to say, just wait, another non-for-profit. Who would that be? That will come and get CDBG money, that will come and get all type of money from out of the city's budget in the coffer, right? That we will approve. And this developer is saying, I don't want any money, and they will get fees as well. We're not talking about that. So, Paterson, watch this project, Paterson.
Yeah, watch it.
Watch what happens if it gets voted down. Remember the address.
Yep.
Christopher Hope Townhouse renovation. I want you to remember 134 units and 179. If it does not get voted on, watch the non-for-profit that gets it. Remember, Councilwoman Mims said it. I said what I said, and you're going to thank me later. Thank you,
Council
Paterson.
President.
Good night.
One second. Thank you, Councilwoman Woman Mims. It's pretty clear to me.
Correct.
We got our priority in the wrong places. This development is owned by a private developer. It was built 20 years ago. It's pretty clear to me they maintain the maintenance correctly. That's why we're talking about these projects being deteriorated. They need improvement right away. At the same time, we own some of the building, like Councilwoman Abdulaziz says. When was it renovated last time, Madam Director? 255 Atlantic Street?
155 Atlantic Street.
Yeah.
Major renovations, our last major renovation at Masiello probably were kitchen cabinets in their back.
Right. So when was it built?
I don't know.
Okay.
They're about
Exactly.
20.
So
But the
should we
point-
not take
no,
care?
the
Should
point-
we not take care of our own first?
Of course we do.
That's
And
Yeah,
the-
Council
the
President, let
point-
me
wait,
clarify that part.
Can I just add one point? Can I just add one point?
Director.
Annually, these units are inspected by an independent inspection group. For the Christopher Columbus project, over time, they've never gotten less than an 85, and that counts for the operation and maintenance of the buildings.
Who is supposed to keep up to date on this project? I mean, Christopher Hope, who's supposed to keep it up to date? Wasn't their job? The owners?
Yes, the property manager manages the property.
Did they keep it up to date?
I just mentioned, Councilman, that
Yeah,
every year there's an annual
Correct.
inspection that's
Correct.
required by HUD.
Right.
They send out independent inspection groups to do inspection.
Council President.
Council President.
Council President, hold
There's
on.
been an inspection of record that these units, in the time that it's been built, averages 85 points, which are good. Our Masiello development has gotten similar scores over time. So when we talk about daily maintenance, annual maintenance, monthly maintenance, it's quite different than going in and replacing the roof. It's
Okay.
very different than going in and replacing the boiler.
Thank you, thank you,
Council-
Director.
Okay, so one second,
Council-
one second.
Councilwoman
Yeah.
Sutton is-
I know, but I'm,
Thank you.
I said 1 second to everyone. It is now almost 8:30, and we had a special at 8 that we need to, which is advertised, so we need to go into it, come back out, and we can continue this meeting.
Council President, I say that's a statutory, before you came in, allowed to go to regular, okay, and move forward the item. All the explanation was done. There's a line of qualification and rules, FMLA or HUD rules on this money that they gonna give him, not 20, 10, or 5 million. That is a rule on it. Put in a regular, put in a regular,
Okay.
vote it up and down.
No,
That's
she
it.
don't need to, Council President.
Councilwoman Cotton.
I don't think that she, I mean, for us to close out and to come back in again, you know, and I'm saying, you know, some of those projects that we voted on and we gave a support letter, they were private people. They weren't housing authority. You know, they were private. They hadn't fixed their buildings in 20, 30 years.
Okay,
But
so
they
Councilwoman, so
they
your
needed- but I'm just
recommendation,
saying, I want to
Councilwoman?
make it, just make the statement correctly, that I know that, and something was mentioned today, and Councilwoman Mims said it, this nonprofit who's trying to take over, and I don't know what the shenanigans is, you want to call it, is coming, but this same nonprofit gets millions of dollars from the city of Paterson. We're not giving this man nothing. So
Madam,
just be on the lookout. I'm saying, I mean, it came out. Somebody's trying to take those properties over, and I'm not sure who it is, because I'm not in the loop. I don't know.
Madam President, just.
I just want y'all to be aware.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President. I know, and I just, this is going to be my last comment on this item. I do believe that we have to move on and put it on regular and vote as you wish. But just for the record, to all Pattersonian or to a resident of the city of Paterson, we have a renovation for 134 unit and 179 unit. My main concern right now here is, do they apply for a tax abatement? No. The answer is no. Do they want another pilot program? No. The answer is no. This is a private investment, plain and simple. We've been giving out so many tax abatement pilot programs to so many people in the city of Paterson, and our homeowner, they're struggling with the high taxes that we pay. This is something different. I do believe that we have to move forward. I also been in contact with some of the residents. Those units, they need to be renovated.
Okay.
The residents that live on those buildings, they really want to see the renovation done, and my recommendation is just to move on with a regular, on regular, put it on regular, and I wish that we could support this item to make sure that those residents get a renovation on their apartment. Thank you, Madam
Okay,
President.
thank you very much. Madam Clerk,
Move to close.
no, can I finish my statement?
No.
So, your item is 21 and 22, correct?
Yes, I have them for regular.
And we only discussed 21. We didn't discuss 22.
They the same, it's the same,
Okay.
different title.
So, Madam Clerk, 21 and 22 are gonna go on regular, and
I do have that.
council members will either vote it up or down.
And Council President,
And-
just to.
Director, thank you very much, all right? Okay.
Director,
Okay, so-
Council President, as a statutory chair, you know, the thing is that we discussed this in committee, and we came out of that committee saying, let's move forward. But we have to bring it,
Councilman,
you know,
Councilman Velez, with all due respect.
Yeah, I know. We got
There
other
is 4
councilmen.
of you, of which 4 were not there, and so.
Correct.
This is why we have workshops. So those items come here. So although the committee felt that move forward, you also have other council members here as well. So
No,
that is the
yeah.
reason for the discussion.
I
But
agree.
we've already said enough to 21 and 22. Can I have a motion to?
Move to close.
Suspend.
Suspend.
We cannot close the workshop, to suspend the
They're not
workshop.
suspended, it means.
Yes, Councilman.
Move to suspend the workshop by Councilman Velez and second by Councilman Mendez. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call to suspend the workshop agenda until after the special meeting. Councilwoman Cotton? Yes. Councilman Jackson?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'm going to use this moment just to take a minute or two, just to, the residents of Paterson, if you understand why you get subpar treatment, why you complain about certain things, this is where it lies right here. The level of accountability is non-existent, and when you have people that are willing to just give away everything with nothing in return, this is the example of how poor governance is exhibited in the street of in our community. This is an absolute atrocity, and I'm really having a difficult time wrapping my head around it. But on this note, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
You said your vote is yes, sir? Councilman Jackson? I'm sorry, you said yes. Thank you. Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Mims?
Councilwoman Mims spoke earlier, my vote is yes.
Councilman Velez?
Stay tuned for the regular meeting. My vote is yes.
Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor, 3 absent. The workshop session is now suspended until after the special meeting.
Thank you very much. So at this time, I'm gonna, Madam Clerk, I'd like to call the meeting to order. I know there was only one item, so can you,
2, Council President.
I'm sorry?
It's 2
I think
items.
there's 2.
Yes, what happened, Council President? I did speak to you about the second one, the raffle.
Oh, yes, you
Yeah,
did.
we had a conversation.
I'll take that back. Yes,
and
you
it
did,
was-
yes, you did.
And it was published.
Okay, so, council members, these 2 items can be very quickly, and then when we come back, I'd like to open up the public portion. So at this time, roll call, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Madam President. Roll call for Municipal Council special meeting October 19, 2021 at 8 p.m. Councilman Abdelaziz, Councilwoman Khan. Yes. Councilman Jackson,
Yes.
Councilman Khalid, Councilman Mendez,
Roll call.
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mims,
Yes.
Councilman Rivera, Councilman Velez.
Yes.
Madam President,
Yes. Present.
thank you. May I continue?
Can you please read the statement of compliance?
Sure, Madam President. Meeting covered by 48-hour notice. Notice of the time, date, location, and agenda of this meeting was transmitted to the North Jersey Herald News, The Record, The Arabic Voice, Italian Voice, Passaic County Pulse, Dominicana News, Crisquedo International, El Especial, the Paterson Press, the City Post News, and tap into Paterson, in addition to any other publication duly requesting such notices. At or about 11 a.m. on October 13, 2021, such notices were posted on the bulletin board in the offices of the city clerk at City Hall. Public notice. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, be advised that the Municipal Council of the City of Paterson has scheduled a special meeting Tuesday, October 19, 2021 at 8 p.m. to be held in the Council Chambers, 155 Market Street, 3rd floor, City Hall in Paterson, New Jersey, for this purpose of discussing the following matters. Public portion. Resolutions. Item number 1. Resolution approving application for raffle licensing for Wayne Hills Football Inc. and Thomas Jefferson PTO City Clerk. Resolution 21559. Formal action will be taken. Item number 2. Resolution on the Paterson Code Chapter 129. Bazaars addressing a license for Humble Beginnings, Inc. to conduct festival finance. Resolution 21560, formal action will be taken.
Move.
Okay, at this time, Council President, would you just like to open the public portion for the special meeting?
Okay, at this time, the public portion is open for these 2 specific items. Is there anyone here for these 2 specific items?
See no.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez,
Yes.
Councilman Mims,
Yes.
Councilman Velez,
I think there was somebody in the
The
audience.
Councilman, just vote, please.
Councilman
What?
We're
Velez.
going to go into, please?
Yes.
Madam President,
Yes.
the vote is 6 in favor, 3 absent. Public portion for the special meeting is now closed.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, I'd like to take both items, so let's start with number 1.
Next item is item number 1, resolution approving application for Raffle license for Wayne Hills Football Inc. and Thomas Jefferson PTO, City Clerk, Resolution 21-559.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Velez and second by Councilwoman Mims. Roll call, Madam Clerk, on item number 1 for approval.
Yes, roll call on item number 1 for approval. Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilman Jackson,
Yes.
Councilman Mendez,
Yes.
Councilman Mims,
Yes.
Councilman Velez,
Yes.
Madam President.
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor, 3 absent. Item number 1 is hereby adopted.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, item number 2.
Yes, next item is item number 2, resolution under Paterson Code, Chapter 129, Bazaars, addressing a license for Humble Beginnings, Inc. to conduct a festival. Finance Resolution 21-560.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Cotton, second by Councilwoman Mims and Velez. Roll call, Madam Clerk, on item number 2 for approval.
Discussion.
One second, Councilman Velez. I don't know exactly what you want to discuss, or if you just want to mention
I just wanna ask-
what the function is, because this is a license that actually came a little late, and, you know, the entity has already done one before, which was the boxing match on the Great Falls, which was a beautiful, beautiful event. And so understanding that there is another this weekend, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be from 12 to 5, and I had a great time, you know, a few months back. So I didn't really want to go into it. We still have more items on, and so, you know, we will at the end, we're going to mention it again and make sure, you know, get us a flyer so we could put it on, you know, our street, there you go. Leave it right there for me. As a matter of fact, if you can hand it over to my assistant over here, and when I close the meeting, I'm gonna be mentioning this great event that Humble Beginnings put together.
Can I have my time now? If I call discussion?
One more? You got 2?
Councilman Velez.
Thank you. See, I don't have a problem with this event. Last time I didn't attend, I was out of the city. You know, first of all, I just want to know the age of the boxers. What's the age of the boxers, Mr. Actor?
Age of the boxers are from 10. They're fighters from 10 years old, 12 years old, 13, 14, 18, 20. We have fighters coming in from all over the world. We even have a team flying in from Bayamon, Puerto Rico. Viva Puerto Rico!
So
Hueva.
So first of
Viva
all,
Puerto Rico!
Mr. Actor, sorry, you know.
USA Army coming into this city.
Sir, listen, not because you mentioned Puerto Rico,
No.
don't make an effect on me.
No,
It's
that's not
to
what I'm
make
saying.
sure you
Atlanta,
have.
Georgia.
Sir, please, point of order, please. Just a good question, because when I was talking before about benefit adults sports, that's what I was meaning. I'm supporting you.
Right. There's all ages.
I heard you before that you are an individual that work with anger management and people with come back to life, and you do a great job. So listen to me, okay? This is why I was asking the question, because in the beginning of the meeting with the director of DPW, I was requesting the administration to include adult sports for they could receive benefit. And he said that he cannot do that. So now,
Councilman.
Hold on, Council President.
Councilman.
Now I see that this event is sponsored by community policing, is sponsored by recreation, okay? and that's what I want to see. It's not only invest in our recreation, our kids. We got adults out there that we invest in those adults. They're gonna stay out of drugs. They're gonna stay out of robbery. They're gonna stay out of the corners. That's what I mean. All right.
So-
and second, because Ms. Actor.
Yeah, I'm listening, sir.
I am an individual that property casualty, I'm gonna make sure liability don't goes and fall into the city. The reason I was asking to you earlier, if you update your insurance, is because the Great Fall is not named on it, either the city of Paterson in this description of the event. So I wanna make sure, and your organization is not mentioned in the insurance of it, and I just want to protect you. If something happens, nobody go after you, sir.
Councilman, don't answer, please, do not answer. Okay, Councilman, you just put on record, right, and Madam Clerk, I really want you to look into it, because it is obvious to me that these items come before us, and they're thoroughly checked by our clerk. My clerk called and specifically stated, can you please do a special because of this activity? And there was no hesitation whatsoever. I have much faith in our clerk and our assistants, so to make that statement, it makes our office look bad. But Councilman, with that said, all right, I don't like when council members make statements after a director leaves because they are not able to defend themselves and their statements. And the statement specifically that the director stated in terms, we were talking about uniforms. We were not talking about not supporting adult and recreation. And so let us not make statements that are incorrect, because that was an incorrect statement to say that this is what you were saying, that you want recreation, that the city supports adult programs. And that's what he was specific, we were talking about uniforms.
Council President.
So with that said.
Council President.
Councilman Jackson.
Thank you, Council President. First of all, if we're going to support entities that are doing what we should be doing already, our community is lacking in all of these functions. I don't understand why we would give any kind of pushback at all. First of all, from my perspective, we should not be charging organizations that's putting together functions insurance anyway. The city has an insurance policy. The majority of the people who will be there are participating. They're city residents. Just for a point of clarity, I don't know who this question should go through. Madam BA, when the city does its yearly Falls Festival, do we take out a separate policy, insurance policy for that?
And it's Celebrate Paterson?
Yeah.
I believe that they.
For any one of the functions.
chamber.
Yes, the Celebrate Paterson organization has an insurance policy as part of that event.
They have an insurance policy
It's
for
an
that
additional.
event?
Correct. Yeah.
All of the city, okay, all right, so, but even with that being said, I mean, over the past weekend, some young ladies who, I actually paid for the insurance policy myself to help support the event, and it was a phenomenal event. There's no need for us to have multi-million-dollar coverages for these kinds of events. I don't understand why we make such a big
Councilman,
deal
I
about
would probably say that it is more for safety purposes to make sure that, they're all covered, so,
We already have, the city has, so we have a recreation department. If people participate in recreation and there's a presumed injury or then there's already.
Yeah, but these are, although they may be, nonprofits, they are not entities within the city.
Correct.
So they're
Correct.
an additional
They
entity,
are-
and there may be some type of sponsorship.
From my opinion, they should actually be paid because they're doing what the city is not doing. When my father was sponsoring football teams over the last over 15, 20-year period and coming out his pocket every year to rent fields from the city, and he had to pay for insurance and buy uniforms, buy kids meals. There's a lot of different expenses, and I'm sure the organization has to come up with. They have to get a ring in place. There's a lot of expenses.
Right. So I think
at the very least, we shouldn't be giving them a headache about.
Well, I think the other thing too, Councilman, this is not a free event, all right? Just so you all know, this is a paid event. where you,
But
in order.
I'm sorry, I
Can-
didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay, I'm gonna, just let me finish my statement. So this is a paid event to an entity, okay? And so I see that there is some sponsors, and what I'm going to assume with some of those sponsors, right, especially those that are putting up banners, that you are they're making a donation to the activity. So, I'll leave it there. Councilman Abdelaziz?
Thank you, Council
Something that
President.
should be so quick, it's a shame, like, it takes.
No, I just want to put some clarity on, and just to the public. So I dealt with this when I worked in the city of Passaic, and there was events that fell under the umbrella of recreation, and when it falls under the umbrella of recreation, it falls under city's liability insurance. Now, I'm not privy to those discussions. Many organizations do not want to fall under the umbrella of recreation because there's rules and regulations under the Department of Recreation. Maybe no fees, no ticket sales, you can't approve. I knew that was in Passaic. If someone wanted to waive that, they went to Recreation. Recreation sponsored, put under their umbrella, the application came from Recreation, everything is waived. But you do need insurance because it is a liability factor. Somebody gets hurt, we're not controlling the narrative. I'm not saying with this organization right in front of us, but that's how we did in Passaic. That if there was somebody that wanted to do something, they didn't have the insurance, we would say, go to Recreation, they meet with the Recreation Department. If they sponsor, say this is something great for the city, Recreation jumps on it, they put the application, and then they handle it in-house. But there are some organizations also, just let the record reflect, there are some organizations that do not want to be part of Recreation, because you're right, there is a fee, there are sponsorship, there are private vendors. Thank you, Council President.
Councilman Rivera?
Just have a quick question. So, I noticed here that they paid for the EMT, but we offer them the police.
So
And
it is my understanding only, and the only reason why I'm gonna speak on this, you were the only one, well, actually, no, Councilwoman Miz was there. We were at an event yesterday where community policing presented, and they talked about how, within their grants, they are able to participate and support different programs in the cip.
They're charging though, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, they're charging $20 admission fee though. So if we're providing through a grant or whatever it may be, we're providing them this event with resources, why are they charging a fee at the door?
No, we're not.
Admission fee.
Right.
The entity.
The entity, yes.
The Humble Beginnings, Inc., in
Correct.
association with the Paterson Division of Recreation.
Correct, in association with Paterson Division of Recreation. You don't see in the way I'm
Actually,
saying
I
it?
understand your questioning right now. I mean, I wasn't looking at it that way. I don't know. Madam BA, can you answer the finance chair?
Yeah, Council President, I would think that it would be the same concept, that they want to have the EMTs there because it's outside the general purview, but since the community policing is sponsoring it based on their letter, that it's seen as a joint event and they're not charging. I don't know if that's the standard practice. I haven't looked at all the, when community policing is involved in other events, so I can check it and get back to you from Lieutenant Easton.
I think, and probably I would say.
The admission fee.
The admission, he's talking about the admissions fee because the entity is charging a $20 admission fee.
Right.
So, look, I went to this event a few months ago, and, and obviously I paid a few tickets, and I went with quite a few people to support it. My son really loves boxing. I also wanted to support Councilwoman Cotton as well. She was being recognized on behalf of her husband. And what I saw, and within Patersonians, there, but what I saw also, they were giving them, trophies and all those things. So I think that those monies, I think it's to cover those.
Nobody's saying the funds didn't go for a right cause. Nobody's saying that. It's just the concept, right? It's just the principle. We're providing resources, but they're collecting admission fees. I'm not saying it's illegal, all I'm saying is we need to look into that.
Well, you
because-
have a legitimate question, and I think
It's
the
just a
DA is
question.
not able to answer, because I see you're not answering it, but, you know.
Council President.
Madam Clerk, I'd like to roll call, and you
Yes,
can make
please.
your statement in your vote.
Yes, Mr. President.
Roll call, Madam
Yes,
Clerk.
Madam President.
And item number 2 for approval.
Roll call on item number 2 for approval. Councilman Abdelaziz.
My vote is yes. I look forward to this event. I think I got some matchups for you that could bring in big money. You know, me, Councilman Velez, prime time in the ring, or Amir Flavio Rivera. That's more my thing. But this is a good event. I was there last time. My vote is yes. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilwoman Khan.
I'm a baseball player, basketball player, and boxer. I'm gonna bat you later.
I just pictured a few of us in the ring, like.
Oh, no, that would be good.
You make a lot of money.
Go for a donation.
Yeah. Is it my vote?
I'm sorry.
We'll roll call.
Councilwoman Khan, it's your
Thank you,
turn.
Madam Clerk. I just want to say to Akbar McIntyre, I'm looking forward again. You know, I love boxing. You did something for the city that, you know, needed to get done. Our community, you know, if you have to do it, I say do it. Sometimes we need to be able to enjoy ourselves, and it's our people, our community, that's able to do that. So I look forward to it. I think about my Big Eddie. When it comes to boxing, I know the love he had for it, but I commend you for putting some excitement. You know what? I always say we got to learn to put excitement back in people's lives, because some of them are walking like zombies. We need to put excitement back in their lives. I thank you for doing that for Humblesby Ben and the trainer over there. Love you dearly, but excitement is what we need. We need to feel good sometimes, and I appreciate that. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Acknowledging Brother Akbar being a former boxer, be remiss if I didn't acknowledge. I know I shouted him out last time, but not only was Joe Rock a great football player, he was a good boxer as well. I'm sure Brother Akbar acknowledged that as well. It's just a little bit concerning. I mean, you know, it's a $20 cover charge. To put a ring there, it's not free. To put all of the essentials there to cover, you know, to make this event what it is, the sound system, referees that have to come out, these are professional people that have to come out and ref the fight, you know, trophies that's given away, possible fruit, water, different things that boxers may need, transportation, getting people here. These are amateur fighters, so, you know, if they don't have travel, we got to make arrangements to get them here. It's all kinds of expenses that's associated with this, and you know, I didn't see thousands of people there. It wasn't like it was the giant stadium. It was a good amount of people to cover the cost of the event and make sure that the event is successful and somebody doesn't have to come out of his pocket. What's egregious to me is when I go over to School 15, Joe, check this out, brother. I go over to School 15 where you have fathers, men, giving up their time free. They volunteer. People like from Nifty Lions who've been doing this for 20 plus years, who go there. People like who have the Passaic County Wildcats. You know, you go watch these games, and we charge them $1,200 per game just for EMT and cops. We charge a midget league organization $1,200 if they have 10 games. It's their home field now. If they have 10 home games, they have to raise $12,000 just to pay for an EMT sitting in the bus on his phone, doing nothing, and a cop walking around. It doesn't make any sense. We pay these people to work here. We can't, you know, have a EMT go watch over those games and not have to pay for that, while we let a developer who doesn't live here walk away with over $50 million in free money. we gonna make a fuss about somebody collecting $20 cover charge for a service that they're giving. They're not paying $20 for nothing. They were to watch a match, support their community, have a good time. It's backwards. If you wonder why the city's in the condition it's in, this is why. Not only should we be celebrating the efforts, we should be supporting it, call them saying, listen, I'm doing an event for $5,000 per person per ticket. I'm doing an event for $5,000 per person per ticket. Let me donate the money that you need for your event. When you need to go to Florida because your team won the league and you want to send them to Florida for Disney World because they went down for the championships, $30,000, no problem. We should cover that. They do it in Newark. They do it in East Orange. They do it everywhere else where they care about the youth development in their community. Here we are questioning somebody over a $20 ticket, man. You understand what I'm dealing with here, brother? I don't drink, but I think I need to start. I need to start having a couple cranberry juices with some extra lime, squeezed lime in it. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk. Yo, congratulations, brother. Keep up the good work.
Thank you,
Gentlemen,
Councilman.
brothers. pardon me.
Councilman Kalik?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I agree with Councilman Jackson, but I think it should be free. It should be free. We should reach out to the developers and politicians out there and get some sponsorship for these kind of events. All of us should come out of our pocket and donate to this kind of organization. Nobody reached out to me, but hopefully in future, Brother Akbar, you reach out to me. I'll try to support anything that has to do to move our city forward. And I think the reason I'm saying is for being free, so we could have more participation from our community. The community people will be there. Nobody's going to come from out of town. Most of the people from our own community. That's the reason I think it should be free. I'm looking forward to the event on Saturday. My vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And just very brief, I'm in full support of this event. I agree, and many of us agree that, I'm always say that it's easy for youth and adults to get in trouble in Paterson because there's very minimal in terms of recreation, in terms of activity out there. And when I see an event like this, just keep knocking on doors because you should get more resources, more funding to do an event like this. City-wise and in the Department of Recreation, we definitely have to invest way more in recreation. That's something that I look forward to see in the city of Paterson. But I'm looking forward to have a great time at your event, and I'm in full support. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Mims?
So for me, it's a little different. I've known Akbar and Shanbay for a very, very, very long time. I actually went to school with Akbar. So it's a little different for me, knowing his background in boxing, knowing Shanbay as a trainer, all the great work that they have done year in, year out, day in, day out. And we always talk about our youth and how we need to save our children and provide recreational opportunities. And I think this is one of those ways. Sometimes it's not internally through the administration or through legislative options, it's through non-for-profits and people in the community that are always thinking outside of the box. And there's many organizations that do that all the time to make sure that they have something for our youth to do. Going to the last one, I was blown away to have the ring outside by the amphitheater, the bells, the whistles, the kids were excited, people were here from everywhere, and it was so peaceful. That was the thing I kept talking about, how, because sometimes after a fight, people are like upset and they're angry, but it was peaceful. Like, it was such a peaceful event. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful this year to sponsor this event because you did a great job, for what you've done. But I'm just really grateful to see young children being able to get their adrenaline out, their frustration out in the boxing ring. And some of those kids were amazing. All of them were great. But there were some kids that I was just really blown away by. And at one point, I didn't even know who I was rooting for. I was like, just get them, just get them. But it was so great. So I want to commend, Akbar, Shanbay, Humble Beginners, the North Side Coalition, all those entities that were a part of making sure, and you kept your promise that you said, we're coming back in the fall, and you kept your promise. My only ask is that Councilman Artis say something for real in the microphone this time. Because he's supposed to be a commentary, and he was kind of commentator, but he's quiet. So I'm just putting that on the record, that Councilman Robert Artis has to commentate this time, because he's really good at that too. So with that being said, thank you so much for bringing this to our great city of Paterson. Our youth need it. We have people that one day we're going to see them. And like I think someone has already stated, when you honored, our late Ed Cotton, it was just phenomenal as one of the great referees of all time. So thank you for all that you do. My vote is in favor of the great work you're doing. My vote is definitely in favor of our children, but most importantly, our vote is in favor of the fact that you made sure that our children had a way to fight it out in the rain, and they're not on the corners, and we're not getting a call that somebody got shot and they are dead. So thank you so much for doing that. My vote is absolutely yes.
Thank you. Councilman Rivera?
Yes, I applaud the initiative. This is a good thing for the city. But I would like to see this. It says Humble Beginnings, Inc., in association with Paterson Division of Recreation. Next time, this got to be planned a little better, not on your end, but we want the city to contribute more to events like this. But we need to make sure that we don't charge an admission fee. So that the city somehow, paying for trophies, and they have community policing, but we need to do more. We got to open it up for everyone for free. If we're going to partner with someone, we're going to partner for real. We're the third largest city. We have a substantial amount of money in our budget. And in the recreation budget also, we have a substantial amount of money. We budgeted probably for programs that we could not have during the year because of COVID. So on that note, I'm 100% in favor of this initiative. I'll even support it in the future. But because we're collecting admission fees, I'll vote no on this, just on that basis. Should be open to everyone for free.
Thank you. Councilman Velez?
I don't know if my Spanglish is a little bit confusing people.
Very good looking.
Or sometimes I say something probably it means right, but probably people understand it wrong. In the beginning of the whole conversation with DPW director and they was talking about referee for basketball. And a uniform jumps in and other things jumps in, and I say there's a lot of I could count with my hands how many nonprofit organizations in sport we have that we should include them to at least benefit them with something for recreation. Okay? Why? He said over there that it was only for kids. I'm seeing that this is an event from kids to adults. So he's contradicting himself when he's signing it. Okay? I am support. Listen, actor have been giving free food to the homeless out there in Broadway without no support. Without no support. He knocks a lot of doors, and people say, this is another guy comes from, I don't know where, giving food on Broadway. We need to stop this. But his vision is different. His vision is different. I love basketball. I know Adel Aziz is want to fight me, but he cannot, I'm too tall for him. So he could go around and around. But, he could go around and around. But
I got the trainer getting me ready, Councilman, right there.
He has a good bachelor in track and field. He knows how to run. All right? So saying that, he say he wrestled. I don't know how, but that's okay. But one thing I gotta say is that, for example, planning, the same way you're getting support from the police department, recreation in the trophy or whatever, look, I'll go a little bit further. That day, the 24th, Saturday the 23rd, it's gonna be 61 degrees, 43 the other night, it's gonna be raining. So that's what recreation should come, a big tent, to make sure that nobody get wet and put some heaters around just in case nobody get cold. When you stand in the Great Falls, it get cold. So, ladies and gentlemen, I support this, actor, and if you need a Spanish narrator, I will go there. But I gotta guarantee you something, those boxers from Puerto Rico, they know how to fight. You heard that, Abdulaziz? And just in case Jackson around. I'm just kidding. God bless you. My vote is yes, sir.
Madam President,
Ming, can you zoom in?
You should put in channel 77 into the 23rd.
I know, that's why I asked him. I asked him for it.
Please.
You got it? Okay, there you go. So, on Saturday, 12 to 5, Humble Beginnings, Inc., in association with Paterson Recreation, presents the North Side Action Network Outdoor Amateur and Olympic-style boxing event. Saturday, it's from 1 to 7. Weigh-in starts at 10 to 12. It'll be at the Paterson Great Falls National Historic Park, 72 McBride Avenue. Admission is $20 for live on-site. Ringside commentary by Councilman Bob Artis of Prospect Park and former cruiserweight champion Al Ice Cole. Tickets are available at ASP Hair Salon on 83 Heldon Ave, Ike and Randy's Gym on 98 Park Ave. Tickets, matchmaking, vending, Akbar 973-876-3390. Sean Bay the Trainer 973-851-2513. My vote is yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
thank you, Council President. The vote is 8 in favor, 1 against. Item number 2 is hereby adopted.
Can I have a motion to close the...
Second.
Moved by Councilman Abdulaziz and second by Councilman Mendez. Roll call, Madam Clerk, to close the special meeting of Tuesday, October 18th.
Yes. Roll call to close the special meeting of October 19, 2021. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Khalid.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Mims.
Yes.
Councilman Rivera.
Yes.
Councilman Velez.
Yes.
Madam President.
Yes.
The vote is 8 in favor, 1 absent. The special meeting is hereby closed. We'll now resume to our regular scheduled workshop session. Have a motion to reopen the workshop session?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Abdulaziz and second by Councilman Mendez. Roll call, Madam Clerk, to resume the workshop session of October 18th.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call to resume the workshop session of October 19, 2021. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Khalid.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Mims.
Yes.
Councilman Rivera.
Yes.
Madam President.
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. The workshop session is now resumed.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, at this time, what I'd like to do is just quickly, before I open up, because I'm going to open up the public portion, do we know how many speakers we have on the public portion? No. So, council members, we're going to move on, just quickly, I'm just going to say this. 27 is going to go on regular, 28 is going to go on regular, 29 is going to, if Councilman Jackson, are you okay? It's going to go on consent, 29. Are you okay with that? 29. That's the renewal of a junkyard license in the First Ward, North First Street.
No problem.
Okay. 29 is going to go on consent.
So 28 is consent, Council President?
27 is regular, 28 regular, 29 consent.
29 consent, okay.
Yes. 30 is on consent.
30 consent. Okay.
Yes. And we already 45, we said that's gonna go on regular, okay? No, item
33rd consent?
Item 21 and 22, regular, 23 is,
Wait up, you're jumping all over.
no, it's that we did a lot of them,
That's why,
Councilman.
no, I'm just saying, 22, all right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Which one going regular?
23 consent, And 24, this is the one, the resolution authorizing a schedule for the sale of abandoned cars and hulls. The attachment of the cars are there. Do you have a question on that? No, no. Okay, so if everyone's okay, 24 is gonna go on consent as well. Okay, the only last item that we have is item 16. And, you know, I, for one, did not want to, I did not want to discuss this item right now. I feel that we already have smoking, we have an ordinance already in place. There is no smoking in parks in certain areas. And the fact that we have not taken, we have not been able to bring cannabis back so we can discuss the regulation of it, because we already know that the council took an action and that the mayor vetoed it. And so cannabis is legal in the state of New Jersey. And
Which
so
one- which one you talking
I'm not saying that I don't want to entertain it, I just didn't want to entertain it now since we have not.
Which one is it?
16.
Okay, so, I don't
And
see
we didn't
it.
even, we had a committee meeting, and this wasn't even discussed in committee.
Council President, this was discussed way back, and I
No, I know it was, but I'm saying that
spoke
you
to
put it back on.
Madam President.
I spoke to corporation council, and the reason is that other city are including in the Smoking Act ordinance the word cannabis. Okay, the word cannabis. This is the thing. You have people smoking in front of churches. You have people going and walking to the park and smoking. You don't have individuals patrolling the parks every time, all right? You have people blocking sidewalks and smoking cannabis, all right? Smoking marijuana. Now, when you look at the smoking out, I don't know if corporate counsel could explain it better, but that was something that to include in the word of cannabis in the Smoking Act. So I think that this should be entertained. At least we put a regulation based on the Smoking Act, that the Smoking Act is not included, is including the amendment in the Smoking Act, including cannabis as smoking.
Madam President.
So, you know,
Okay, understood where, and where you are.
I don't know if corporate counsel could explain it better, but,
Madam
One
President.
second, Councilman Mendez?
Yes, we have a very extensive discussion with this when this item came into the agenda. And I was very specific on my condition, on my term, why we have to be careful when we put this type of resolution in place, legislation in place. Why? Because it's against the law to smoke in public already. And whoever is watching this meeting, don't get confused, don't get it twisted, don't wait to approve this, because it's already in the book. You're not allowed to smoke, cigarette, whatever you want. You're not allowed to smoke in public. You're not allowed to smoke in the park. There's have to be a specific area for smoking, but it's against the law already. Now, I want Corporation Council to be very specific here, because I'm not gonna stay here voting on something that I already know, and many people and everybody know that it's against the law to smoke in public, to smoke in the park, and here we are approving something like this. So that's the reason why I want to make sure that Corporation Council is clear, because in my position, the law is already in place, the law is already in the book.
Okay, understood. I understood. Good. I'm gonna allow him to speak, but I want Councilman Kalik and then Councilman Abdulaziz,
Council President.
and then Councilman Jackson.
Council President, Corporation Council, we know that smoking is not permitted in public, is already in the law. I believe this will give a clear message to the people who smoke cannabis not to smoke in public. So I think we should move forward with it. And it's basically updating, we adding the word cannabis in the
An
ordinance.
amendment, okay.
Is there any other cities around the city, around New Jersey doing the same ordinance, Corporation
Meaning
Council?
amending their smoke?
Corporation Council, yes.
Yeah, Councilman Abdulaziz and then Councilman, he's gonna answer.
No, I'm asking the question to the Corporation Council.
That's what I'm saying, he's going to answer
Okay.
after Councilman Abdulaziz, so that
Okay.
way he answers everyone.
Go ahead.
Councilman Abdulaziz?
Thank you, Council President. So I'm reading this, and Councilman Mendez, maybe he's going to give us better clarification. So I think where Councilman Velez is coming from, and we are talking about two different ordinances that what you're saying. There, Councilman Mendez is correct. There is an ordinance saying we cannot smoke in public parks, public buildings, in front of public buildings. There's state laws that regulate that. What Councilman Velez, I think, is talking about is in public in general, not a public park, meaning right now, an individual cannot be drinking in public, can't have the can out, drinking, pounding while they're walking, you get a ticket. Well, Councilman Velez is amending that ordinance to include cannabis. So if you want to smoke cannabis, you need to be in your private property to smoke it. I can't be in front of your house smoking cannabis and your kids smelling it or your kids getting that. I think, and I'm not saying where I stand, and I think Councilman Velez is nodding his head and Corporation Council will give it to us. If you can't drink right now, the alcohol, and I think that's what you amended. You just added cannabis into the alcohol one. And with alcohol, you cannot, you get a fine. If I go into the liquor store, I open up a can of beer and I drink it while I'm walking. There's laws regulating it. It's in here right in front of us. So I think he's adding cannabis. So people are not in front of your house smoking. Or people are not in front of an establishment. So if you're walking in to go to the pizzeria to get a slice of pizza, you're not getting a contact high from that smoke. So Councilman Mendez is right, that's for the public settings. This one is meaning in public on private properties that's out there. That's what I'm interpreting, but the Corporation Council.
Okay.
I'm not saying where I lean, I'm just, that's how I'm.
All right, so Corporation Council, if you can please, oh, I'm sorry.
I'll wait.
You'll wait? Okay. So Councilman Mendez made a statement, and so did Khalik and Abdulaziz. So can you quickly address their concerns?
Yes.
Or statements?
Thank you, Council President. So, smoking in public is banned. And many towns have already interpreted this to extend to cannabis as well. And if you look at the actual cannabis legislation, it says nothing in this legislation authorizes the public consumption, and it defines public place in various ways, including any place that is not privately owned or any place to which the public has access and things of that nature. Now, with that being said, many towns have also gone out of their way to ban the consumption of cannabis in public, and I think that comes from the fact that the law does permit cities and towns to enact their own ordinances regarding cannabis. So various towns on the shore have banned it publicly and have imposed fines. Various towns and cities not on the shore have done the same thing, and I think that's where it comes from. So there is some redundancy there. It can be fairly read that cannabis is banned in public already. But for the avoidance of doubt, if you want to pass this ordinance to make sure it's absolutely clear and add penalties in there, you can do that.
Madam President.
That on regular,
I have a
Council
question for
President.
Corporation Council.
Thank you, Council President. So, I don't have an issue with supporting this, but if we're going to do it, it needs to be vetted more clearly. It should be expounded. We should include hookah in this as well. We have people who just smoke hookah and, in parks and in public places, in certain businesses throughout the city. We can't pick and choose. The state law is clear on smoking, on the ban on smoking. And certain businesses are targeted when it comes to hookah smoking, and other businesses are not. Now, one of the things that I wanted to, bring some clarity on is the fact that the lack of enforcement on all of the issues that are illegal. And we often try to lean back on the police and talk about the police and their shortage of manpower and things of that nature. But that willingness for enforcement has to come from the top. It has to come from the administration. For example, I sent an email to all of you, and Corporation Council have responded with regard to these illegal signs that was blanketed all over our community for the election. And Corporation Counsel, I know that you noted and acknowledged that those signs were illegal, but they're still up. They're still up all through the city, and have we written, every campaign sign should have a sponsorship tag on there. Were there any summonses written? I'll let you guys finish and then I can finish because I think it's important. I mean, we're talking about enforcement here, and there's a lack of enforcement all the way around. Council President and Madam Clerk, can we please send a request to the administration on a full report on how many summonses were written for all those illegal campaign signs that was plastered through the community? Corporation Counsel had acknowledged, and I was informed that the administration was sending notice to DPW director to remove the signs, yet they're still up. So we have to pay manpower to clean up behind a organization that just came and illegally posted signs. So here we are writing more laws that are not going to be enforced, that's possibly incapable of being enforced because of lack of manpower, but the ones that we do have reach for, we're not even bothering to do so. So however you guys choose to proceed on this, I'm willing to support.
Okay.
Council President.
Thank you very much. So, council members, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to put that item on regular, just so you know.
So
Okay?
are-
I'm not going to put it on consent. I'm putting it on regular. Okay?
Madam President.
Councilman Mendez.
Sure, and let me just, let me make my statement clear. The reason why I asked Corporation Counsel's assistance is because I already know that it's against the law to smoke in public. There's a law in place. Now, the problem that we have in the city, it's the lack of enforcement. I'm constantly getting calls from Eastside Park and so many other areas because people, they cannot do exercise because there's people smoking, there's people breaking the law, there's people drinking in public, all those, there's law in place, but we're not enforcing that. I want to make sure that people get the full concept of this.
Okay.
And I'm not against this. I'm not gonna say. And I just want Corporation Counsel to be on record specifically. From his point of view, that it's illegal or not to smoke in public. That's the whole thing.
Well,
I want to make sure.
He already makes his point clear already.
And Madam President, I got the floor, right? Okay, thank you. So I'm not against this legislation at all. I'm the first one that I'm against. We're getting complaints from people from all over the city that we have people outside smoking without respecting our children in our community, and I know. So I'm in support of this. But at the same time, Corporation Counsel need to be specific. That law, it's already in the book. There's a law in place. You're not allowed to smoke in public. You're not allowed to smoke in the park. And I want the community to get that. And also the police department, the administration, they have to enforce those laws that we have in the book. Councilman Jackson mentioned, show me the tickets, show me how many summons have we given for people for drinking in public, smoking in public in front of our children, breaking the law. I know we're going to approve this, but nothing is going to happen. That's what's going to happen. This has been a problem for many, many years, and we're not enforcing those laws that we have in the book.
Understood. So as I stated, give me 1 second. So it's going to go on regular. I'm Councilwoman Mims. No. We need to open up the public portion. I really want to open it up. So, Madam Clerk, you have. No, I understand, and I apologize for that. So, Councilwoman Mims, and then Madam Clerk, we're opening up the public portion after her statement.
So I'm not going to stand in the way, but I just want it written as it relates to this ordinance. I'm not saying whether I support or not support it. And I heard Councilman Jackson say extended. If it's cannabis, he said to include hookah. Councilman Mendez already made the request, and I want to reiterate the request. How many summons were given for people smoking in public, drinking in public?
Yeah.
Within the last 5 years? I would like to see that, because putting together an ordinance and there's no enforcement is not, we need to look at that as well. But what I want to get in writing is with the new law that was passed, through all of the laws that they're working on and the ones that they've worked so hard on in the Assembly and the state, when it talks about not being able to approach if they have 6 ounces or less. how does this ordinance affect that state law? You don't have to answer it tonight. I just want it in writing, because I want it duly in writing, so when this happens, and if we have any issues or altercations, I want it duly stated on record that we have it from Corporation Counsel that this person was stopped, they were smoking, whatever they call it now. I don't know what's called now, but they were smoking, they were stopped, right, in whatever location. I would like to see it. We have a lot of concerns, or people have situations in our city as it relates to working with our police department. So I just don't want this new ordinance to cause any further concerns
The
with that.
amendment,
So
because it's not a new ordinance, it's an amendment.
well, the amendment.
Council
The
President,
amendment.
may I?
But can we just, I know you're probably going to respond, but I also want it in writing, because I want to make sure that it is duly written, so if we have any issues that we can have it in the past. And I'm putting it on record to the public, so you'll know I asked for it.
Okay.
Councilman Abdelaziz?
Thank you, Council President. I heard some of the things, so I just wanted to make sure you said this is going to proceed. So once it proceeds, I think I heard this is going to be amended. Councilwoman Mims and Councilman Jackson want to include hookah on this ordinance,
No,
correct?
Councilman Jackson said that. I did not. No, I did not. I said Councilman Jackson mentioned that. I did not say.
So are we
Yeah,
amending this to
let's be
include
clear.
hookah, Council President? So I just I wanted to know who's recommending. I want to know what I'm looking at, and
Smoking is illegal, period.
So it's supposed to be everything.
so hookah included. That's what we're saying.
Well, that's what Jackson just said.
Well, Council President, may I? Thank you.
Corporation Counsel.
Thank you. And Dr. Mims, I understand you want it in writing. I'll get it to you in writing, but I know you don't like to wait, so I'll give you a sneak peek now. The possession of cannabis in a certain amount is different than smoking it in public. And the cannabis law passed by the state specifically permits possession of cannabis, but says, nothing in this section shall permit a person to smoke, vape, or aerosolize any cannabis item in public. The prohibition includes the smoking, vaping, and aerosolizing of cannabis in any public place pursuant to the law that prohibits the smoking of tobacco, including the New Jersey Smoke-Free Air Act. So there's a distinction between possession of cannabis in your pocket or having it and smoking it.
Right. So with that stated, with what you said, based on what you read, right, that's the state law, correct? It's already in the state law, that what we're trying to do locally. So why are we trying to pass an ordinance? It's already a law. You just read the law
Yeah.
of what we're trying to pass
Tell
locally.
her why.
State always supersedes local, so why are we passing an ordinance? That's why I wanted you to read it.
May I, Council President? Thank you. So as I stated earlier, there's nothing wrong with having a local ordinance in place that is in tandem with state law. And actually, we have quite a few local ordinances that also are in tandem or parallel with state law. For example, the very ordinance we're trying to amend to include cannabis is essentially similar to New Jersey Smoke-Free Air Act.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with being a little more specific, and pursuant to our purview by the state, we can enact this ordinance as well.
But Corporation Counsel, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying, if the state already has a law, we can just do a resolution in support of that law. We don't need to amend our law. State law supersedes local. Us putting together something on the books, I mean,
Dr.
the
Mims,
state
I
already has a
will
law.
defer to your collective wisdom as the legislators, as to whether or not you want to enact the law.
I mean,
That's
they're gonna
parallel, but I will say that a resolution won't have the same effect as if we have our own
If the
ordinance.
state says something, it
No,
should.
no, the state law is on its face, but for example, if a police officer is going to write a ticket for it, the local ordinance would probably be the best way to go for us. They could also write the state law. So there are some benefits to having both parallel, but again, I'll defer to your collective wisdom on that.
Thank you. Is that it?
Regular,
Madam, it's on regular.
Move to close.
second,
Move to close what?
no, public portion.
Portion, sir.
Oh, public portion. Okay, let's open up public.
Just 1 second, please. Council President,
Yes, Madam Clerk.
we have, Mr. President, I'm sorry. We have the public portion and we have the payment of bills. There are two things.
Okay, can we do payment of,
So are we doing the public portion now?
no, let's do payments of bills first.
Payment of bills? Okay.
Chairman?
Councilman Rivera, you're going to handle this?
Give me a minute.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Payment of bills for October 19, 2021. We have total bills of, total payments in the amount of $5,960,790.53, of which $4,420,238.78 are for payroll.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Rivera, second by Councilman Abdulaziz. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call for payment of bills in the amount of $5,960,790.53. Councilman Abdulaziz. Councilman Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. As we continue to do what we do week in, week out, and I apologize to the public for prolonging this, but it's very important. The millions of dollars that we spend and we waste, you know, on third-party contracts and this garbage company who renders absolutely horrendous service to us. They hire some Paterson people, but then some they don't. They don't really pay in a fair scale. You know, I can't, as I have done for the last 3 years, I will not support any bills list that has any payments to this garbage company. This community needs to be more responsible. We need to create more local jobs. We completely dropped the ball on that. As, you know, council members, I'm hoping that we can revisit this, because Hinchcliffe Stadium, you know, they have 4 Paterson people working there, and they've, again, refused to go back and to do what they claimed they were going to do when they started. And yet again, another project that we have not gotten an answer on. I sit here every night asking the same questions. We don't get answers. So, Madam Clerk, my vote is no.
And thank you, Councilman. Councilman Mims?
This payment of bill includes the employee's salary, so I'm definitely in favor of making sure that we pay our employees what they've worked and they've earned. My vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Rivera?
So, we always have a debate about, you know, if we should privatize or we should have, you know, city ran services. And we always find an excuse for something not to work. And we've been waiting for a tree stump. Remember, there was a time that we couldn't do it because we didn't have the machinery. Mm-hmm. We provided the machinery, very expensive, by the way. And then we have personnel. We could never get it right. And it's disturbing. I don't know what we're going to do going forward, because every time we have during the budget process, I raise the question, what do we need to provide the services to our residents? And after the meeting, we feel positive that things are going to change. We provide all the resources that have been asked, but somehow it doesn't translate into services. I don't know what else to it's just, I'm out of words here. So I'm going to leave it at that. My vote is yes, but we always have the debate about privatizing or not privatizing. At least when you privatize, you could actually, you know, take action right away. And my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Velez?
I'm going to put it this way. There's a problem. And there's a disconnection between the service, who's rendering service, and who's supposed to help those to render the service. This had to be something that is glitching, that some of these employees are saying, why should I go a little bit further when administration is not moving forward with me? You understand what I'm saying? So if I work, I don't feel the support from administration. Where's the contracts? Where's the benefit? Where is the payment for hazard pay? And if they do overtime, they questioning, oh, Madam BA, I'm a little bit discouraged that to be able to prove that the clock was not working, they had to throw a picture of themselves doing it. I never saw that in the whole entire city of Paterson. To be able to justify overtime, you need to take a picture, you doing it yourself, that you was there in that clock, but they don't ask it to the second floor. I didn't saw it though. So, And where's the policy of that? Since when? There's a policy? So, you know, you need to orientate me this because you created some policy that we never saw before in the city. So saying that you need to have a healthy environment in this place. And something's going on. So, you know, probably it's going to change soon. So my vote is yes on this.
Thank you. Mr. President?
Did Councilman Abdulaziz vote?
Yes,
Yeah,
he did.
I did my vote, yeah.
Yes, sir, he
Did you
did.
vote?
Yes.
My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. President. The vote is 5 in favor, 1 against, 3 absent. Payment of bills in the amount of $5,960,790.53 is hereby adopted.
Can you open the public portion, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Mr. President. The public portion is now open, and I have 6 speakers. The first speaker is Mohammed Badu. I'm not very sure of the last name. Is there Mohammed here? May I continue?
I don't see that person.
Okay.
Second speaker, ma'am?
Next person is Wayne Baxter. Not here. Next speaker, Joel Keys Jr.
That's him. Joe, welcome aboard.
Yes, sir.
Testing, 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 testing. All right. Joe Keys Jr., 29 North 6th Street, Paterson. The purpose of my speech this evening is to promote the people's seat at the table of democracy movement. The following research compelled me to believe that the current political system in the United States is corporate imperialism instead of democracy. And it led me to believe that the two were mutually exclusive, which means they can't exist at the same time. However, in 2009, one of my professors at Paterson University said that there's a seat at the table of democracy for the people, but the only way that seat can be occupied is through the people organizing and mobilizing. Here's the aforementioned research. In his essay, Why I Won't Vote in 1956, W.B. Du Bois said, quote, "Stop yelling about a democracy we do not have. Democracy is dead in the United States. Drive the money changers from the seats of the cabinet and the halls of Congress." Unquote. The money changers he's talking about is the relationship between the corporate lobbyists and the members of Congress. Formerly disgraced and formerly incarcerated corporate lobbyist Jack Abramoff was asked, how did he recruit and exploit the members in Congress? And he said, quote, "When a new member of Congress shows up in Washington these days, their leadership introduces them to the lobbyists in the following way. They say, you're a new member of Congress, and the most important thing for you is to get reelected next time. 80% of them come in with debt. First thing we're going to do is have you retire your debt, and here's a group of people who are very good at helping you retire your debt. Meet the lobbyists, and that's where it starts," unquote. Also, he offered jobs to their staff to work at law firms after their assignment in Congress. And he stated, quote, "Even though Congress members signed their checks, from that point forward, they work for me and my clients, the corporations." In the 1960s, SNCC and Black Panther Party members Dr. Kwame Ture and H. Rap Brown understood that their political adversaries were the corporate lobbyists in Washington, D.C., and we're shown evidence in the following quotes. Dr. Ture said, quote, "I'm not a Democrat. I've never voted in my life for the Democratic Party. It's racist and it's capitalist to the core. And I shed my blood for the vote. I want to make that clear. some people get confused. The vote has never been the road to liberation. It's only a means for organizing my people, unquote. H. Rap Brown added, quote, I think the vote can only be used as a tool of organization. We can only use the vote to organize our people. Now, to really believe we could put some people in office and these people will be responsive to our needs is politically naive, unquote. Moreover, Dr. Kwame Ture asserts, quote, you vote once in 4 years and that's your political responsibility? That's the height of bourgeois propaganda, making the people politically irresponsible, thinking their responsibility is limited to a one-day vote. Well, politics is every day, every minute. So the vote alone has never meant anything, unquote. If I can just reiterate, I'm advocating for the people's seat at the table of democracy movement, and we want to start by showing up at these council meetings every Tuesday and submit your contact information on a sign-up sheet.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam President. Next speaker is Ms. Eva Razak. Ms. Eva?
Eva Razak.
I wanted to stay here this late because I needed to address something. First of all, Mr. Mendez, sir, Papi, I really appreciate you guys and Ms. Kathleen putting that machine up, but I kid you not, Mr. Mendez, counting today, 14 cars, not even racing down, they're coming from the other end up. They're not even going down now. Now they're coming up. Like constantly, like you crossing the street, you're like, you gotta be kidding me. And you have a lot of, in that block, and if you notice, it's a small block. There's, I don't know, I've seen in other blocks that there's no trailers allowed or big, huge trucks. So why are we getting it? And it's sad because I have to say something, in that area, those homeowners and the pastor, everybody keeps their areas and their place clean and they're on top of their game. But the destruction that's happening, and we're getting a lot of so-called not friendly people coming around and doing things to the cars, and then we're getting ticket when they pop the tire and you can't move the car because the tire is popped. And I don't know, we need help. But I have something to say to all of the council members. I see you guys and everybody talks and everybody speaks and everybody looks at each other. You guys all gotta be mindful that y'all all need to stick together in order for all of us to believe you guys. Because the public is not dumb. The public knows who really wanna handle their business in our city and who wants to play a joke. And we're not joking. And I gotta say something. I've been one of the ones from Paterson. Here it is. I told you I came here when I was 2 years old. And I'm a fighter, and I'll keep fighting because I like standing my ground, not only for me, but for others who are scared to voice their opinions. A few people not too long ago came and said, yo, Evie, aren't you scared to go to the city? Hell no. Why? If it's my day, it's my day. And those members who really know me, because there's a few of you guys who don't know me, because you guys haven't seen me around because I was on a DL for a while. But everybody else, all the other council members, they know what I am. I'm a mover, I'm a shaker, I'm a doer, I'm a go-getter, and I'm very honest. And I see you guys among each other, it's like, y'all don't like, you guys gotta show the public that you guys are really in it. And here it is, Miss Kathleen Long, I'm so sorry because you sit in a position that's very hard. As a woman, because I'm gonna go here as a woman. It is, and it's sad. So you ladies and gentlemen that are council members that are being paid to do the job, don't just sit there and say, yeah, and then leave and not happening. And something I wanted to mention to Miss Ruby, she's not here. I wanted to thank Miss Ruby Cotton for mentioning my name on the Hispanic, because I am Hispanic and I am a leader in this town. I don't need a title. But when you don't get acknowledged and somebody else does it, it makes you feel well. And I am somebody in this city. I do matter. I am Hispanic, and I am black, and I'm anything that anybody wants me to be, because we all need each other.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys think that when you leave out this door, you think you got it going, you ain't got jack going, because we need each other. And look at our town, please look at our town. It's sad, it's dirty, it's filthy. Oh my God. We need to really observe, and I'm gonna go here with this, I'm gonna get in trouble, but if the city residents don't believe you guys, then what? Let's be honest, then what? And I have something to say, please, I want you council members to know this. I'm from the 3rd Ward, because that's where I live, but if you guys need my service in any ward, or anything, getting donations, I'm available, because that's what I was born to do, service. And that's my flow.
Okay.
So just, wait, honey, please don't shut us down.
That's not shutting you down, your
No,
time
no,
is
that's
up, so
fine,
I'm
but
just, when I say
I
okay.
waited for 20 hours.
No, I understand,
What
but when
I'm
I
trying to
say okay,
here
it's
it
just
is.
for you to wrap
Here it
up.
is, Ms. Maritza Davila. We all matter. Do you understand? I'm really saying that. We all matter. And when you have people going to places that they show up, acknowledge those people that are there too. Because a lot is said out there. And I'm not the one to come and just laugh and BS. No. You guys know me. When I gotta say something, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it without no Vaseline, and that hurts. Yeah? So let's be mindful. Let's all share with one another. You council members, let's all get together. Let's go from ward to ward and say, let me see what I can help my brother or my sister, instead of banging with each other and making other people feel bad. Because I'm leaving now and I'm like, whoa, Nelly, I could have been home feeding my kitties. And those are cats, my cats.
Thank you.
Being said, I matter. I am in the city. I am Eva Razak. I am no longer working for the Paterson Public Schools, but I can still do a job in my city because I care and I matter. So for all those people, Hispanic or no Hispanics, who don't recognize Miss Eva, I am here. Just being said, and Mr. Mendez, Bobby, please, let's try to see that with those trucks, or even in the bottom, put a sign that says, we need it. We need it, Bobby. Whatever we need, we really need that in that little corner right there. And I know that there's a lot to be done among the city with other avenues, but Bobby, I'm telling you, we're gonna have an ugly accident, and then you're gonna say, yo, she's not BSing. No, recently there was a man who came
Eva.
on the bus, and he got hit, he got run over. This is not a lie, and he just got off the bus.
Okay.
No, this is not a lie. This
Thank
is
you.
true. So thank you, be mindful. God bless each and every one of you guys. If you need me, I am here to serve with no this one, that one, this one, that one. Stop that. Stop it. All of you, stop it.
Thank you very much. You have a good night, a safe trip home, okay? Thank you. Next speaker, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Madam. Yes, Madam President. Next speaker, Ms. Lemon.
Shaniqua Lemon?
Shaniqua Lemon, 12-16 Hopper Street. Good evening, City Council. Good evening to the Paterson City residents. Just wanted to come tonight to remind you all once again, I am Shaniqua Lemon, 1G on your ballot. I did receive my sample vote by mail ballot today, so just wanted to express on this, on the line for, sorry, it's been a long day. On the line for the school board members, a lot of people have been asking me about an asterisk under the 3 incumbents. They are running on a ticket, but I just wanted to let everyone know that you do not have to just vote for all 3 of them. I just wanted to let people know because that's a question that I get. I am 1G. I am an option. You don't have to vote just me or them 3. You have 3 options. I am 1G. So I just wanted to let that be clear about the asterisk that's underneath 3 of the names. And then also I wanted to let you know that Camp YDP that's located in the 1st Ward, they are going through some restructuring. They're not going to be doing the preschool, but they are opening strictly for school age after school. And they are in need of people to apply for their after school counselors positions. They are starting at $19 an hour. And someone who has worked in after school, I believe that is a good salary to start with. So if you know anyone that is in childcare and looking for a job, Camp YDP, located at 13-15 on North Straight Street, is hiring $19 an hour. And then I also wanted to let you all know that Girl Scouts here in Paterson, we're kicking off our Girl Scout year by doing a cleanup at the Great Falls on Saturday, October 30th. at 9:30. And then also, I know there's an event there sponsored by the firefighters department.
32:30.
So again, just to recap on the most important thing, I am Shaniqua Lemon. I am running for school board here in our city. I did attend the unveiling of the Freedom Bell here in our city today. Special shout out to Jimmy Richardson for all of his knowledge that he brings to our city. As an African-American woman here, I was truly inspired. It did give me another push to realize that I'm using my voice to help our city, not only our African-Americans here in the city, which I do hope that we come together to help each other more and push each other, but also for everyone here in our city, because as an individual descended from someone who comes from slaves, I'm standing here as an educator, as someone who I believe has the power to really help our city. So hopefully everyone else was inspired who attended today to work together here in our city. Remember to vote Shaniqua Lemon, 1G, Passion, Purpose, Partnerships. I'm here for a reason to do the work. 2 weeks left, so good luck to everyone on the ballot, but I deserve to be there. Thank you, everyone, and have a great night.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, I believe this is our final speaker.
Yes, Madam President. Next speaker is Mr. Elvis Durham.
The Prince of Paterson.
That's right. Yeah, Shanika Lemon, 1G, November 2nd. Everybody, the city of Paterson, New Jersey, hit them polls. The polls open at 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Shanika Lemon, 1G. For school board. Okay, I came up here to talk about the downtown area. I know some of y'all get tired, but I'm constantly talk about it until the job get done. Because at the end of the day, I am the promoter for the city of Paterson, and I don't get paid for it. So I do it for the kindness of my heart. Y'all get a paycheck, and I respect y'all. To the 6th Ward Councilman, you earn my respect today. You spoke up for the city. I like that. Coming soon to the downtown area, we got a lot of new businesses coming. And the city of Paterson, y'all gotta take heed. We got drug addicts in the downtown area. And remind y'all, you got that national park. If you think they ain't gonna come to the national park, you got another thing coming. So concentrate on the downtown area. We got a banquet hall coming to 72 Elderson Street. That's Ellison, a banquet hall where Little Caesar used to be at. A banquet hall is coming. And some of y'all didn't know. I can see your body language. It's coming. We also got a new supermarket coming to 174 Main Street, right next to SNA. And some of y'all council people need to speak up because I talked to each one of y'all, and some of y'all have a problem with the parking. And one of the city inspectors had told me that the supermarkets in the downtown area don't need parking. So y'all could fight with the city inspectors with that. Also, coming soon, we got Burlington Coat Factory coming inside Center City Mall. And I know some of y'all don't support the mall, but the thing is, the mall is hiring people from Paterson. And Burlington Coat Factory is coming, and it's going to be open in March 2022. And also, I want to encourage council people. Come on, y'all, I'm talking. Come on. I hear everybody was talking. I respect everybody. I just want to encourage y'all to have some kind of like workshop classes for like CDL license, because next year, 2022, is going to be a lot of different things that's going to be happening, and it's going to be jobs that's available for CDL license. So how can administration? How can y'all could put that in some kind of book to create some kind of CDL classes to show people and give people information how to go get their CDL license and things like that, because we got to get our people ready. I'm talking about Paterson for these new jobs that's about to get built, and just want the community to know, and I just want to see what the council people think about creating some kind of workshop with the community, like the community, to have a talk about CDL license to encourage our young adults to get CDL license, because that's where the money at. A CDL license, you could get a job for making $50 an hour. Woo, a lot of money.
Thank you. So, thank you very much. I am
I want to
going.
hear a response from somebody.
The only thing I'm going to say is I think you need to hook up with Councilman Kalik, who is fully aware in the process.
Yeah, him and his brother on a bus company?
No, but on a serious note, you're asking some stuff that clearly, the administration, I'm not sure that the city, it's something that can be done if, maybe through DPW, but obviously, so this is an administration.
Can I say one thing, Council President? North is doing it, and other cities.
All right, so we can have our BA look into it and see what we can do, okay?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Have a motion?
Second.
Move to close the public portion by Councilman Velez, second by Councilman Mendez. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call to close the public portion of the workshop session of October 19, 2021. Councilman Abdelaziz?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Kalik?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Very quick, I know Ms. Eva left, but let me just say this. On East 35th and Brilliant Avenue, in that intersection, due to the help of the police department and the traffic division, we have a speed limit clock there. We also have another one on 19th Avenue and East 38th Street also as well. And there's other signs that are on the pipeline. But there's something that we have to keep in mind, and it's the enforcement, which is, we was talking about that before. Madam BA, I'm making a formal request to the administration to put a plan in place with the traffic division to start enforcing speeding in the entire city of Paterson, but very specifically in the third ward. In that location, we already have the speed limit clock. I did my part. The only thing the last option that I think that I happened to my mind is stop by in the corner with a stop sign to try to reduce the speeding. And I should not do that because I'm a legislator, I'm not a law enforcement. So if we could talk with the traffic division to start enforcing the law in that area, people are speeding to get into Route 20, 50, 60 miles per hour on a residential area, and that's the reason why there's accident constantly in every corner. If this administration start enforcing the law that we have in the book, we would never have to go into our taxpayer pocket to increase our taxes just by the revenue that we're going to get by enforcing the law that we have in the book. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Councilman Mims?
So just a few announcements. Tomorrow night is the Domestic Violence Candlelight Vigil, which is yearly at 77 Hamilton Street. It's at 5:30 in the evening. On this Saturday, Creech Temple is having an afternoon tea. We've already mentioned the boxing event that will be at the amphitheater. And then on this Sunday, we will be having an event called Souls to the Polls, encouraging everyone to come out to vote. There will be a big event at Eastside Park. The keynote speaker will be Senator Cory Booker, and that is at 2 o'clock, Souls to the Poll, Sunday, October the 31st. Keynote speaker, Senator Cory Booker at 2 o'clock p.m. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Velez?
Mañana hay una vigilia honrando y trayendo memoria a lo que es la violencia doméstica. Va a ser siempre, y la hacen siempre en el 7-7 de la Hamilton. Vaya y comparta con todo lo que pasamos en esos eventos. I always supported the event, you know that, right, Councilwoman Mims? The vigil, I always attend since they started doing it there. So I think this encourage everyone to go and be there and support those individuals that have gone through those situations. Madam, I just gotta say this, right? At the committee meeting, DPW, Councilman Khalid was there. There's a speed hump policy ordering in the oven. Okay, it's in the oven. So, but we just cannot create an ordinance and put a burden to the city. Okay, so we need to be smart what we're doing and making sure that it works for everyone. But the traffic condition in the city is not only a ward, it's all the way around the city, 8.9 square miles. So when we legislate for everyone, okay? What we have to do is make sure that everybody is inclusive, not exclusive.
Councilman, can we,
I
we're closing the public
I haven't heard the
portion.
bell yet.
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying we're closing the
All right,
public
yeah,
portion.
okay, so, saying that, corporate counsel, please, Madam BA, please send people at least walking through Market and Park Avenue because the street cleaning cannot go through there. And that's the bell. My vote is yes, thank you.
Madam President.
Yes.
The vote is 8 in favor, 1 absent. The workshop session of October 19, 2021 is hereby adjourned. Good night, everyone. Thank you very much.
No, that was to close public portion.
That was to close the public portion.
Sure.
Yeah, but I'll take that, Madam Clerk.
Madam
It was
President.
both.
I agree with you,
What?
Madam Clerk.
Madam Clerk, I
Can-
agree, it could be.
Come
for
on,
both.
council members. Madam Clerk,
No, we close the public portion.
thank you very much. Okay.
Move to-
Madam
Councilman Mendez,
Sure, Madam President. I have item 32 and 33 that I would like to bring it back into the agenda to be voting on regular on the next meeting on Tuesday.
Second on that. Which one is that?
We're on a workshop,
Oh,
guys, we don't need to vote
this is a
on the
workshop,
items.
and I removed an item, and Councilman Mendez and Councilman Velez,
They're asking you to reconsider, Council
to reconsider,
President.
put it back.
Are you gonna put it back?
Madam Clerk, put it on regular.
Okay, move to close.
Second.
Move to close by Councilman Abdulaziz, second by,
Motion to-
I'm sorry, Councilman Mendez. Roll call, Madam Clerk, to close the workshop of Tuesday, October 18th, 19th.
I did.
That's okay, it's only 10
We
o'clock.
closed already.
No. We closed the public portion.
Mr. Minkin pulled the tape back.
No, Madam Clerk.
No,
after-
Madam Clerk, we were voting on closing the public portion. That's what we were, that's why I said, Councilman Velez, we're closing the public
Yeah,
portion.
Madam Clerk, once Elvis Durham spoke, we made a motion, a second, to close the public portion. It was a quick vote, and then the left side always increases the time frame, and then, and then now it's to
Okay.
close the public portion, Madam Clerk. It was.
That
Okay,
was,
to
so
close-
now,
To close the workshop.
Right, Khalid, this
We had a
side-
motion
it was
and a
moved by
second.
Councilman Abdulaziz and second by Councilman Mendez.
Okay.
It's the truth.
The roll call to close the workshop session of October 19, 2021. Councilman Abdulaziz.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Everyone have a good night. It was great. We pounded the pavement today in the 6th Ward. It's great to see some of the constituents. Madam BA, there is a speeding issue in the People's Park section and Lakeview section when it comes to speeding. If we get our traffic units there, I heard that loud and clear from my residents. My vote is yes. Everyone have a good night.
Okay. Councilman Khalid.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. DPW Chairperson of the committee, working with our Corporation Council to bring some speed hump ordinance to the city of Paterson. And hopefully it will be presented to the council next month or so, or before, if possible. My vote is yes to close the meeting.
Councilman
Thank you.
Mendez.
Thank you, Madam President, to Councilman Shahin Khalid comment and Corporation Council. At the end, I want you to comment on that because for the last, I will say the last month, I'll be back and forth with Mr. Honchao and Corporation Council to copy the legislation for a speed bump and a speed hump that we have in Newark and Jersey City, combine and put it together to have something that really works for our city. Speeding is a serious problem in the city of Paterson, and I'm waiting for Corporation Council to have it ready to submit it at the DPW committee meeting and having conversation with the chairman of the entire committee to make it happen. We've been talking about speeding for for a very long time, and it's not only in the third ward. I'm mentioning the third ward because those are the constituents that are constantly calling me on 18th Avenue, 19th Avenue, family that have children and they cannot enjoy to be outside because car passing by 50, 60 miles per hour on a residential area, something that is unacceptable. I do believe that we definitely need that legislation in place. And after my comment, Corporation Council, I would like to ask you where we are with that. If we got that work done, to submit it to the DPW committee to evaluate it, have the discussion, and bring it back, and have our colleague, my colleagues, to comment on that. Okay, so I'll wait for your response. And also, I would like to just take this time to invite all the residents of the third ward to our town hall meeting this October 27 at 7 p.m. this coming Wednesday. So it's going to be through Zoom. I'm going to be sending the flyers, sending emails to make sure that everybody participate. I know there's a lot of other residents from the city of Paterson that they log into our Zoom that they not belong to the third ward, but everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome in our Zoom. But with this time, we're going to start with Gianfranco, the director of the Historic Preservation Commission. Attention to all our third ward residents, especially the East Side area. The East Side area is a historic district. We have a lot of new homeowners that are getting into our community, but they don't know that that Historic Preservation Commission is the entity that they have to apply for permit when they have to do a renovation or a construction. So please log into our Zoom meeting, because we're going to have the director talking about the specific permit, things that you need, and also a full presentation that you needed to make sure to avoid problem if you want to do any renovation. Also, we're going to have the Director of Economic Development, Mike Powell. I do real estate. That's my business. That's what I do. Now, we have an idea. I think that the historic district, we need to know if anybody wants to purchase a property in the city of Paterson, they need to know where they're going to. We have different sections. East Side is a historical area. But if you're logging into the Garden State MLS or NJMLS and as an agent, as a realtor, I would never know that I'm trying to purchase a property into a historical area. With the director, what we try to do is we try to incorporate that into the NJMLS and Garden State MLS. That way everybody knows in the state of New Jersey and out of state that if they getting into the East Side area, they will know that they are getting into a historical area. So we're going to have that conversation. And last but not least, we're going to have Director Jerry Speciali speaking about the quality of life issues that are affecting the third ward and other areas. And I just want to, in conclusion, I want to thank all the residents of the third ward for those calls. We've been addressing quality of life issues in the third ward. I've been handling a lot of things different way. I believe that we cannot police in the entire city of Paterson. For people that play loud music, we try to be a good neighbor. I have a team of people in the third ward. We put in together all the captain in each block to make sure that they address those problems. Let's be a good neighbor. If you have an event, if you have a function in your house, invite your neighbor. Let them know that you're going to have an activity. But please, let's be respectful. And I look forward to see you all on the Zoom meeting on the 27th at 7 p.m. on Wednesday. You could log in from your house. Let's have a great dialogue. It's going to be only from 7 to 9. So, Madam Clerk, with that being said, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Rivera?
Just very briefly, I'm glad to be back. We have a lot of work to do. I'm looking forward to the next year with this Rescue Act funding that we're getting. We're going to address a lot of things that we haven't addressed in a while because of financial constraints. We're going to be doing a lot of great things. My vote is yes to close the meeting.
Thank you. Councilman Velez?
You know, corporate counsel cannot agree or disagree in something. I don't know how long he had been here, as I think a year, right? A year and a half, well, something like that. You know, there was a lot of things discussed in committee way back before Councilman Mendez came on board at the third ward, such as speed hump or bumps, such as citywide parking permits. And I could go with the list on and on and on. When that comes to the table, I don't take offense if we all have to make a decision for the benefit of the residents of the city of Paterson. Councilman Mendez, we are doing the work together. And let's make sure.
Yes,
Hold on.
we are.
Yeah, hold
We
on.
all sitting
Hold on,
here.
Councilman Mendez, I'm not here to, I didn't interrupt
But
you.
just don't address me
I didn't-
personally.
Councilman Mendez, I did not interrupt you. I just want you to clear the record.
No.
I just, I'm clearing the record for you, Councilman Mendez. Not just because you sit in the third ward, you're inventing the whole entire city. I don't want to go there. But let's be honest and fair. When we make a decision in the city of Paterson, we make it for the whole entire city and making sure that before you come with a takeover idea, make sure who was sitting there before and start giving credit to your colleagues and start making a teamwork, not a I work. Don't get me started because then you're going to see me in a 24 in the Great Falls event. Saying that, Paterson, once again, we are here to work for you. If you have any concern, there's a rule in government. There's a rule in government. You have individual councilmen in your ward. You have 3 or large councilmen. Also, there's a rule in requests. The administration is responsible to listen to our request and fulfill it and to put it in practice or whatever it is. You know.
Okay.
Listen, Council President, I haven't heard the bell. Saying that, I haven't heard the bell. Good night, thank you, 10:15, we coming in early. Council President. So saying that,
You voted.
I say yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson, we are closing the meeting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome, sir.
Well, one of the things that Councilman Velez talked about, I would be all in favor and heavily supporting a celebrity challenge match. I don't call it a death match, but a celebrity challenge match on the 24th between this 5th Ward councilman and the 3rd Ward councilman. I can arrange for that to happen. I could call Brother Akbar and see if we get. I remember when the
We're gonna make a lot of money there.
I'm sure. That way, Councilman Rivera won't have to complain about the $20 cover charge. In fact, they'll make a whole lot of money that day. I think we should make that happen, man. Let's not just talk about things. Let's be about those things. I'm sure Councilman Mendez would be willing to take you up on that offer.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it,
You're all
Councilman.
for it.
But we should charge $40, you know.
All right, guys, I want to go home.
Listen, I could talk about whatever I want to talk about.
Tell him.
It's all right. I asked him a question. Anyway, residents of the city of Paterson, listen, I can only arrange myself to conduct myself one way and one way only, and that is to be responsible. It's nothing personal. I respect people personally, but we have to acknowledge that things need to be done differently if we would expect a different outcome. We all know I don't even think it's a real definition, but we know what the street definition is of doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. And that's what we're doing here. But with that being said, Madam Clerk, I'll send some final notes and requests. Corporation Counsel, if you can give us a report based on the signage, the email that I sent with regard to the illegal campaign signs throughout the city, what has been done, what methods were taken to cure that situation. Council President, out of respect for you, I did not, and I think I may have spoken with Corporation Counsel on as well. Yes, he responded via email. I did not put the Class 2 legislation back on the workshop agenda for discussion. because Corporation Council did acknowledge that Mr. Ben David is reviewing it, but I will put it on the next workshop agenda. I think we need to move this forward, so whoever is chair of public safety, please take the opportunity to review whatever changes are needed so we can, bring this Class 2 officer legislation into action, as well as I'm so excited about the upcoming ballot. That would be the title match, by the way. That'd be the event closer. But it was one more item. The legislation for hotspots. What was the other item, Council President? You know what it
Those are hotspots, and the second thing was the
yes, of
the
course.
special
So,
twos.
I'm
Which I told you that
waiting
we
on-
should
Correct, it's
discuss
the
in-
hotspot ordinance. So I'm waiting on the report, which Madam BA is expressing is such a difficult task, and I'm sure many of you can acknowledge that.
I'll address it when you're
It's not-
done, because
the
Director
last
was here.
meeting
He had a
was-
whole presentation for
Okay, so the
you.
last meeting was not the first time I requested that information. I've been requesting it for months. And so, Council President, I will be bringing the hotspot ordinance back up at the next workshop meeting for us to rescind that ordinance. But with that being said, Madam Clerk, ladies, thank you again. Members of the administration, I appreciate what you guys are doing as well. And everyone in the public, I bid you good night. My vote is yes.
Thank you, Councilman. Council President?
Okay. So, Corporation Council, I am going to ask where we are with Councilman Mendez's request. It was a DPW.
Speed bump.
Speed hump.
Right, so please, I mean, if you can just put it in writing.
I
just
can address
quickly.
it quickly for you now if that.
Okay, if you could just do it quickly.
Very quickly. Thank you, Council President. So I actually forwarded an email to you, Councilman Mendez, that I had sent September 30th in regards to your original inquiry. We have a draft policy in place, and upon your invitation to the Public Works Committee, we will, me and several other members of the Law Department will present that plan, and if it meets the committee's approval, we can then move it forward.
So,
It's I have the floor. I just allow him to, but just, I know there was a DPW meeting this past Monday, so Councilman Mendez was not there, so please.
No, what happened, Council President, we discussed the pros and cons, Jersey City, Newark, and we add some wording
Okay.
to it. But, once again,
Okay, it's my
I asked as
time.
the chair to give us a cost.
Okay.
And compare between this and that. to
Councilman,
be
I have the floor, and I didn't want to get into a discussion. This is why sometimes I don't allow for because, it goes on to another discussion. So anyway, with that said, you've already addressed that issue. Councilman Jackson, I know that you stated, I am the chair and you're the vice chair of public safety. Okay, so we should have a meeting soon. We need to address a hearing that we're gonna have in public safety concerning situation. And after speaking carefully to Corporation Council, it's best just to have it in the public safety meeting instead of bringing it as an entire council. So that's gonna be coming to us, so we can definitely discuss the other items that you have as well. I had a few things I was gonna say, but you know what? Councilwoman Cotton did not come back into the chamber. She's not feeling well, so I'm actually a little worried. This is why I stepped out. I was looking for her. I didn't find her. So don't know if she's home, but if not, I hope you feel better. My vote is yes to close.
Thank you, Council President. The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. The workshop session of October 19, 2021 is hereby adjourned. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.